PACIFIC414 brought to you by North Korea.
No.
Fake news.
The following
It's
content
fake
contains
news.
adult language
Don't
and
listen
humor
to
that is not
Barrett.
suitable
It's
for
fake
viewers
news.
under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
You hear that, Barrett?
The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
All right, I'm out.
Your leader.
Oh, man.
Look at all that.
Do we have to put you in your corner again, Baron? Is that what has to happen?
Never.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I know he is. Look at that. Ooh. Hey, that's me, folks.
That's right. Brand new intro.
Favorite. No, you spelled that wrong. It's Hooligans.
No.
Who is that?
That's some new guy I heard. That's amazing.
He's our special guest. Behave, you two.
I never heard
I
of
won't hesitate to push you out to the airlock.
The airlock.
Never heard
Yeah,
of him.
man. Every time, Baron.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome one and all to this edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk, along with Baron Orman, Tagge, and Cash Money 007. I am your host, Mike, and today we are joined by a fellow creator, a great creator. If you haven't heard of him, well, today is the day. The Comic Relief Crusader is here with us today to not only talk about his journey, but also talk about where his journey is going with his YouTube channel. So please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Comic Relief Crusader to this edition of Pop Talk.
Blah, blah. It's October. It's time to get spooky.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yes.
Guys.
Can Transformers be vampires?
Oh, there was an episode of G1 where
yes.
there were zombies.
From
Mind wipe.
Zombies.
Well,
Oh
that's
my.
zombies. That's
Yes,
zombies.
it was season 3. It was season 3, and they were sucking energon from other Transformers.
Exactly.
Oh.
And also, Mind Wipe, who's a headmaster, transforms into a bat.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yes. And if you get the fan toys version of that masterpiece figure, he's named Dracula.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
It should have been Dragula, but no.
Oh, in this current climate, yeah, Dragula.
Uh-huh. Yes. See what you
Blah,
did there.
betting a tutu.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Blah.
Blah.
When I think of Dracula, I think of that Bugs
We don't
Bunny
have
cartoon.
vampires.
When I think of
Yeah.
Dracula, I think of that Bugs Bunny episode. And then he just realized, oh crap, that's Dracula.
Did I do that?
It's great.
did I do that? Oh, we got the Steve Urkel of Decepticons.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Us.
Urkeltron.
Who is this idiot?
I
know, Megatron.
I call him Urkeltron.
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 Oh my lord.
Starscream,
Urkel.
that's highly illogical. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Oh, zip it, Shockwave.
Okay.
Shockwave this, Shockwave that. All I ever hear about is Shockwave.
That was cool.
It was, wasn't it, though?
Yes.
You guys got a jamming chat going on here already. Wow.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, it does
I
happen.
guess this is what happens when we haven't been here for a week.
That's right.
That's right.
For the week?
Starve the people out and then make them
We're
want more
starved
when you
of
come
people.
back on.
But
What the hell? What the hell was it doing last Sunday? Then I was here.
I wasn't.
Were you here though? Were you here, Baron? Are you sure?
Yeah,
Are you
I don't
positive?
You know- Baron
I mean-
felt so deprived of being on Pop Talk. He's like,
No!
I'm sitting in my chair.
He was about to turn into the Human Torch or something. Yeah.
I made a homemade pizza last Sunday and put some special
Oh.
mushrooms on it, and I swear I was here.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Thanks, Barrett. Now
called-
you're letting everybody know that in order to be on a Pop Talk, you guys it's got to be drugged up or something. Come on,
And-
man.
And now you made
Yeah, the
this
stuff was called
awkward.
Freaky Fungus. It was
Yeah.
good.
Freaky
Put something out of
Fungus.
your pizza.
But speaking of the chat, I do want to say hello to T-Gab Steve, who says last time in Beverly Hills 414.
Yes.
Baron discovered his coupons for buy one get one steaks were expiring today. Actually, T-Cap Steve, that's Phil McCracken.
Yeah.
That's Phil.
It is.
Coupon guy.
But someone had stolen his car keys, and Mike wasn't answering his phone, so there could be nobody to give him a
That's
ride.
terrible. Yeah.
I know, it's horrible.
Crypto Coin had woken up and the drug him up. Oh gosh, I would have wished this on my worst enemy.
Why would anybody drive a Ford Pinto? I mean, some people used to, I guess, but my
I had
God.
a Ford Granada. Oof.
Mm.
Yeah,
I remember the
Yeah, I remember those.
Sunburn. I remember the Sunbird. That thing was hot as hell. I remember it was
yeah.
a horrible car.
Yeah, but well.
It got the job done, but
Listen to him. Yeah, I got the job done.
Woken up in the trunk of a Ford Pinto, held captive by Girl Scout cookie ninjas who had seen through his clever disguise of store credit. Where were they taking him?
man, those are some mean Girl Scouts.
I
Yeah.
know.
Mike had finally gotten the Ferrari back from the shop and was hot on the trail of crypto. Dare he risk rear-ending the Pinto to see if crypto can survive?
The inevitable explosion. Wow, man.
Oh
You made
boy!
quite the writer here. Wow.
Yeah.
Tune in
T-Cap,
for today's
good.
episode and find out.
T-Cap was bored, yes. T-Cap likes to come up with names for us, so I came up with T-Cap for him, yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So Comic Relief, can you take me down to the store? I need to get those steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let me pop in
Cool.
the Batmobile and we'll take off right
Okay.
now.
I see-
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
I
Holy
see,
grocery shopping, Batman!
Holy eyeliner, Batman!
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And hello to the princess of YouTube, Leia Rose.
Yeah,
Brrr.
We also have Raquel SSG.
Wow.
Jed Sparks is here.
Blarg.
Blarg. Yeah.
Christian Del Rome is here. Bonjour,
Ah,
everyone.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Hello,
Yes.
fellow cadet.
Bonjour.
Croissant to you. Croissant.
We also have
It's
Nerd.
Turtle
Nerd.
Man himself.
Nerd.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Turtle nerd. Nerd.
DJ Ronnie G. The pop culture mechanic is here. Good to see you, Pop.
Yes.
Hey, dude.
What's up, pop
Fellow
culture?
Canadian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hey.
Need some
What's
representation.
that
here.
all about? Is
Woo.
that still a thing? All about? All about?
But also, I don't
Only in
want to
Ontario.
ignore anyone over on the Rumble side. Over on Rumble, we have
Oh.
Admiral Teague.
Ah,
Yeah.
Admiral
Yeah.
Tig, what's up, dude? Yeah.
His channel has exploded lately.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Last time I saw, he was at 500, I believe.
Around there. Really? I got to check again. Oh, my God.
Yes. He just hit that. Yeah.
He's getting huge. He's getting
Oh,
humongous.
He's getting big. He's gonna do
Getting-
it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And we got Admiral Teague. It's
All the time.
It's a YouTuber. He tells the truth every time. Every time.
Every time.
It's gonna be the biggest channel you've ever see, filled with hookers and blow.
Oh my goodness. It's huge.
If you want to
Yeah,
be on the
and
show, you got to
it's-
be behind the sign near
it's
LaGuardia
definitely not
Airport. Pay
fake news.
$300,000.
Not fake news.
Exactly. Totally true.
Totally true. Totally. I mean, with Admiral Teague, he's going to have the greatest YouTube channel there ever was.
Exactly. So big, so huge, so supple.
Yeah, yes, Mike, you're already getting the vibe here on Pop Talk. We do like to have fun. Why?
Always.
Because when when you could watch other channels where they're going, yeah, I hate this, I hate
Yeah.
that.
How dare you.
Why not go to a channel and have some fun and
That's right.
joke around a
Exactly.
little bit?
That's
Gotta
right.
chill, man.
We're
Yeah,
having fun.
man. You can't hate everything all the time. It's just you're gonna drive yourself insane.
Exactly.
Okay, Baron, we're having fun. Obviously, with your current profile pic, you're not.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, why you pick Chen like that? Why you pick Avatar like that? You don't know what you're doing.
And it's gonna be a long, long
Yeah.
time. Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Was
Rocket
that
Man,
cultural
Rocket Man.
appropriating?
Oh man.
I need to go get some cheese. I need some cheese. Well, can you send
Ah,
some
yeah,
cheese
you go
in,
get
please?
cheese.
Gosh.
And not that stupid slice kind. No,
No,
that's
not
really
that-
bad.
no.
That's
I
right.
want some
Oh,
Gouda.
man.
I want some
You get the
Gouda.
European cheese
Give me
in the
some
wheel
Gouda.
with the tiny little slices. You go get that. It's so good.
I haven't
Yeah.
pooped in 3 months because I eat so much cheese. I'm so backed up. That's why I'm so big. I'm not really. I'm a skinny. I'm not really fat. I'm just backed up. Too much cheese.
Exactly. No, not fat and big bones.
That was the saddest thing that they did.
Uh,
That he wasn't around when they did that.
No.
That one because it fits. It fits him even better because it does
does.
look like Hartman.
yeah. But you know what, Baron? That's ignorant. That's ignorant.
Ignorant. Yeah. You're just ignorant. Yeah.
Yeah, so ignorant. Why you do that? You racist.
Yeah. Your parents are
I'm
you walk
so
across borders. She can't.
lonely. So
I'm
lonely.
so lonely. Mr.
Oh,
Lonely.
I so we.
This is what
we-
happens when you don't do Pop Talk for a week and a couple of days.
Oh,
Losing my
God.
mind.
We build up.
It's their
huge,
build.
so huge.
It's bad over Trump. Bad over Trump. Everybody, look at him.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Walked across. I shook
Looking
hands.
so handsome. So handsome.
Yeah.
With that wind-blown hair.
Yeah. It's my real hair.
So
It's not
blonde.
fake news.
So Aryan.
I do really find it funny that some people actually think that hair is fake. It's like, no, man, that's actually a real hair.
No, that's totally real. Totally
It really
100%
is.
Trump.
I'm trying to remember who it was. He said, "Hey, pull it," and they did actually pull it on their show.
It was Jimmy
Very
Fallon. Yeah.
Ah.
And then
Jimmy
Jimmy
Fallon,
Fallon, of course, not that I want to get too deep into this, apologized for having Trump on his show, but yeah, whatever. Anyways, yeah.
You know
Stuff-
my stance on that,
Stuff
Cash. If
makes
we
me
were
laugh.
exclusively on Rumble, I'd say go for it. But
Yeah, that's right.
we're on Rumble and YouTube, so
right. Mhm.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's
what
like,
are you
don't
doing,
say too
man?
much. Here comes the YouTube goons. They're gonna get you.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Not yet. Not yet.
I also want to say hello to Low Spec Linux Laptop. Good to
Yeah,
see.
good.
Yeah.
And also Flip City Magazine. Welcome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi.
These guys are
How you doing,
awesome.
man?
Hello.
These
It's like
guys.
blonde
totally
cotton
awesome.
candy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think
So,
Mike's
Mike-
got the big important question for you Comic Relief, and I think this
Yeah.
is
What would
it.
you say you do here?
Aaron, you know me too well.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, so kind of like us.
I'm just winging it. No,
It's like this.
I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
And then he got in an accident and he got that big settlement. That was amazing.
that's right.
Yeah, and he made that jump to conclusions map.
Yep. He did. That was great.
Oh,
It's so
man.
funny. Yeah.
No, what do I do? Well, here's the long and short of it. No, basically a long time ago, like first of all, I'm a graphic designer and training myself up doing comics now because I plan on producing my own comics soon. And on top of that, with conjunction with Raymond Feliciano over at King Dolphin TV, because he has he's now has his third sci-fi book out now. And so we've been talking for the past year about doing a prequel comic to his sci-fi series. So we got that in the works. And so, but I've always been interested in doing comics. And so when I went to college in the mid 80s, or not mid 80s, oh my God, no. In the 90s, you had to pick basically like 2 electives in case, you didn't get one, then, you got the other one to fall back on. And so the other one was radio broadcasting, right?
Okay.
And so, I'd been on university radio a few times and whatnot. And, it was pretty fun. I kind of got the hang of it and stuff like that. Right. So, I picked that as my second elective. So I went in for an interview and, I had a sheet of paper. It's like, talk about the most popular thing that's being talked about in the news right now. Well, back in the mid 90s, it was about this guy that was drunk that for some odd reason happened to be gaining access to a tank. I think it was like in LA. And this is, you can go check this back like around the mid 90s. And he went for a joyride ride in a tank. And, this went on for a while. And basically the cops caught up to him, shot him dead, blah, blah, blah. So I was talking about that on the radio. And this is live, right? In this town where they had the college at. So I didn't know I was live. So, and so the whole town basically is hearing this, right? So, so I'm talking about this for like about maybe 15 minutes. And, next thing I know, the on-air light goes off and I hear a tap on the window, right? Right. And I turn around and it's the department head that's at the window. And she's like, fingering like, come on over here. Right. And I thought, oh crap, I'm in trouble. This is it. There's no way I'm getting this as my second elective. So I came out and she's like, Mike, and just the way she said it like that, right? Like it felt like impending doom, right? Like, Mike, do you know what a shock jock is? And I'm like, no, because I never heard that term before, right? Shock jock. I'm like, no. She goes, well, let me put it to you another way. Do you know who Rush Limbaugh or Howard Stern is? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know who those guys are, right? She goes, you would be perfect as a shock jock. What's your first elective? I need you in my program. And I told her, well, it's graphic design, right? So she goes, you don't get it. I need you in my program. You would be perfect for this job. But I ended up getting into graphic design. The rest is kind of history. And so after a while, I had my YouTube channel, this YouTube channel that I got right now for about maybe since 2009. And I really didn't do anything with it. For the longest time, I only posted like one video on it about these guys in Canadistan doing a bit of swimming there in the cold white north. So that was it. And then after a while, because I'm, I guess, a little bit of a name in the Transformer community, I suppose. I just made a little bit of a name for myself. Started doing these scale charts, which I've sold around the world, and I started working with a third-party company, X Transbots, doing some of the box art for them and stuff like that. But, in the back of my head, I always wanted to do like some sort of broadcasting of some sort because, I kind of fooled around with like voice acting a little bit. And, I thought about that for a while and I thought, I really want to do something, with my voice. And I thought, well, I could probably do, something political. I don't know, like Alex Jones or Rush Limbaugh or Louder with Crowder or whatever, right? Because obviously everything was political now, right?
Yeah.
And
there's no way to get away from it, even if you try.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. Oh, it is. And so I thought, well, I mean, I know some stuff, I know what I like and I don't like, obviously politically, but I'm not really a political, like heavy duty political kind of guy, right? And so I thought, well, my wife said, well, it doesn't have to be political. You like comics and you like movies. Why don't you do something about that? And I'm like, yeah, maybe I should, because at around this time, the first Star Wars trilogy was coming out, and when I took my kids to that, like, one of our daughters like looked at me. It's like, we were all kind of bewildered because we were like, I can't believe they killed Han Solo. Like, what the hell? Like, sheer utter dismay, basically. And I think that really slowly started to solidify it about, what, just talk about the entertainment industry, because this is something I'm very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And and as a graphic designer, where you constantly have clients all the time, and it's all about advertising, and it's all about, taking notice of little shows and commercials on TV, and, advertisements and movies and stuff like that. That was the thing, right? So it's like, okay, sure, fine, I'll do that. And so I started watching videos on YouTube, just on and off here and there. And I think, what was it? I came across, what was it? Heels versus Babyface, and then Doomcock, and I think then Critical Drinker, who wasn't even over 1 million at that point. And I'm like, oh, there are other guys talking about the same thing that I like or don't like. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not alone in this, which feels actually pretty good. So it's like, all right, fine, let's talk about this stuff. And yeah, so I just put out a video and just started, and I didn't know what to call myself, because it seemed like everybody had, like a cool name, right? And like the Critical Drinker, or Doomcock,
or Nerdrotic, or Geeks and Gamers.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, geez, it seems like all these cool names are taken, right? And so our youngest daughter was with me, and she's going to be 14 now. So yeah, she was around 12, and she saw me looking at this Doomcock video, guy in a helmet, and it's like, she's like, who's that guy? And it's like, oh, well, this is a guy that basically is, talking about stuff that's going on in movies, but he's acting like the bad guy, because to the woke crowd, he would be looked at as the super villain, right? He's like, oh, well, that makes sense, right? Well, it's like, well, if you want to talk about this kind of stuff, why don't you just be the good guy, and with a superhero name of some sort? And so she's like, why don't you you like comics, and you're doing a crusade of sorts, why don't you just call yourself the Comic Relief Crusader? I'm like, huh, well, that works, that makes sense, I like that. So that's how I came up with the name.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I like that, man. It's a good name.
I thought so. So I credit her with my name, because I'm too stupid to come up with my own.
I wouldn't say that. Sometimes, we're given a nickname through life, and you think about the nickname and you're going, wait a minute, that might actually work.
Yeah, exactly. It just sometimes happens by accident.
Yeah.
So
I tried with my nickname, but they don't like shitheads. So,
well, you have to use more technical terms then, like feces, cranium. I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
that would work. But yeah, no. So that's what I do. But I know that after a while, when people are constantly listening to what's going on in the world all the time, with what's happening, let's say politically, right?
Right.
Sometimes a lot of people just can't take a lot of bad news all the time, and you need to unplug.
Yes.
Because it wears you down. And I'm sure that a lot of people out in the chat can agree, this constant bombardment all the time of bad news, you just want it to stop. So, I constantly do not talk about bad news. I got to mix in some stuff. Put a mix of stuff of videos in the content, right? Sometimes you do have to bring good news. And
the good, the bad, and the ugly, right?
Exactly. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So, and we cover too much, I think, of just bad news. I mean, yeah, you should make people aware of what's going on, but you can't do it all the time because then it just really gets annoying and, people become disinterested. So, yeah. So, like I said before, I work with Keith over at X Transbot. So, he'll fire me a few images like that, and I'll say, okay, give me a day. Let me put a video together, and I'll release a video of figures coming up. Because people enjoy collecting, and I know that there are a lot of people out there in the Transformers community that just like to collect figures and toys. It's something that brings a little bit of happiness to your personal space. It's like, oh, I want that, right? So why not do that? Or like on occasion, I shared a video where John Williams, the infamous John Williams, is producing music for an anime over in Japan. Actually, that's already out now, right? And this is something he's never done before.
Wow.
So yeah. And
That's
see,
awesome.
and a lot of people have not heard about it. So check that video out. I put it out like over a year ago. Because I mean, John Williams is we can all agree he's a phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
And he's getting up in age. Let's not.
The man's like what, 90 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in his 90s.
He'll probably
did the score
retire.
for-
Can you just imagine comics sitting down with somebody like that for an hour?
Yeah.
Just incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many people actually know this, but he actually did the music for Lost in Space.
Yep. His first
Johnny
job was
Williams.
with the CBC in Canada. It was his first job, a Canadian job. And a lot of people don't know about that either. And I'll throw that in the video. You got to give a little bit of a history lesson because, we know he makes awesome music and we don't know how long he's going to be with us. So, you know what? I put the video out about, hey, he's doing music for an anime in Japan.
That's
Go consume this, because listen to his music, because we've all enjoyed it. And this is a little tidbit that people don't know about, that, they want to listen to his music more. Fine. Here's more for you. Go enjoy it. Or like the piece I did a month ago on One Piece. It's an awesome show. It's really great. Go check it out.
I was actually impressed with how well it was.
It's just,
considering I'll admit, I don't watch that much anime, and it takes certain styles of anime shows to really get me involved. I prefer the more serious tone to the more goofy, over the top tone.
I think with something like anime,
because you're serious all the time.
I
Exactly.
think it's just good to be picky about your anime. And when people are like, "Oh, I can't find anime, but I'll continue to watch all this Star Wars stuff," and I'm like, "Why don't you guys broaden your horizon a little bit and check this stuff out? You could probably find an anime that will actually you'll enjoy."
Yeah,
they have anime for anything. They have
pretty much.
They think
Exactly.
they think it's boobs and blood. They think it's boobs and
That's
blood.
right, boobs and blood.
And all
There's
it is.
action,
don't-
adventure, harems, slice of life. It just goes on and on and on. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Akira. Take a look at Akira, then Vampire Hunter D. Then you go to shows like Star Blazer, Space Battleship, Yamato. All that stuff is like, take a look how each one of these are different and different approaches and art style. Even though it's similar, Each one has its own uniqueness to it.
Speaking of art style, over on Rumble, Admiral Teague is bringing up the Clone Wars 2D series. He said Clone Wars 2D might be anime, but I get what you're saying.
Yes.
Yep.
That show is absolutely incredible. It really is.
It is.
And the same man who did Primal. Primal's pretty interesting too, though. Some of that in the show, I'm just like, wait, what did she do with him? And then they had a child. Okay, sure. It just, I was like, I don't know if I would have written it exactly like that, but I see where they're coming from, where they're going with this.
Well, and look at Transformers. Boom, right there. You like Transformers, then you like anime.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
If you like Voltron,
anime?
you like anime.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's anime? Yeah, that's anime.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know that Voltron was actually called Go Line in Japan, and that's where it originated when I was a kid.
Crazy stuff.
It is. There's an
it
anime
really
for
is,
everyone.
Yeah, and anime, I've told people before, and I'll tell them again, it can be a great just to relax and watch. Like, there's a lot of stress in your life, and you just find an anime to watch, and you just get engrossed in it. Then it gives you ideas. Like, there's just people are missing out, but I understand that with certain animes, especially when there's too much fan service, where they're like, I don't like this. What was this? A panty shot? What happened? She fell down and whatever. Then this was awkward moment, but it's like, that's not every anime.
No. I mean, I have to sit back and say, I mean, I have
the
to
funny
say that
thing,
it was Vampire Hunter D opened my eyes to different approaches because I really couldn't grasp that, 10,000 years in the future type of science fiction or fantasy or science fantasy or whatever you want to call it. And that one, sitting down and watching that one when Sci-Fi Channel had their animation domination block where, every night was the animated movie. And it's like, wow, this is different. And that was, I like Star Blazers. Yeah, I liked a lot of this stuff, but to really draw me in, it was that one.
Yep. We know who's obsessed with Star Blazers, but we won't mention his name because
I'm going to go ahead and mention it. Phil McCracken.
Beetlejuice, man. Beetlejuice will show up again. So, yeah.
But, Mike, you've mentioned, Transformers, and I don't want to assume that you've seen the 3 anime Transformers cartoons that came out after the conclusion. All right. So you've seen Headmasters, Super God Master Force, and Victory. And, Victory being where your avatar comes from.
Yep. And Zone. Right. Don't forget Zone.
Yeah, true.
The one episode of
the
Zone.
One episode that they only aired of Zone, and that was it. But, speaking of those 3 series, yes, they're Transformers, but they were done exclusively in Japan.
Yep.
What do you think of their take on the Transformers lore? Considering it wasn't produced here in,
I
like Western.
See, okay, because here in North America we got season 4, which was only 3 episodes of the Headmaster
Rebirth.
Right? Yeah, Rebirth. And I got the Marvel comics when I was a kid as well. Like, I had all the comics from Marvel and even the crossovers with G.I. Joe and blah blah blah. And it was just something about that these organic beings, the Nebulons, ended up like being the heads for the Transformers. And I mean, I got where they were going with it, but for some odd reason, it just didn't exactly sit right with me. And there's a reason why, because I'm thinking, okay, as corporeal entities that we are, organic beings, one day we're going to die, obviously, right? Or even if you're, fighting in a war, with these big giant metallic beings, well, flesh is kind of squishy and it doesn't take much for some sort of, physical trauma to happen that, you could end up, let's just say, I don't know, mentally retarded, and not to poke fun at, disabled people. It's not, but it's facts, right? You could end up, with a serious disability, or you could end up dead, right? And that just, for some odd reason, even back then, didn't sit right with me. So I'm like, okay, fine. They're just trying to create a storyline. I get it, but it just didn't seem right. So when I discovered, Headmasters and then Super God Master Force and Victory and whatnot, that they were Cybertronians originally, that in Headmasters they went to Planet Master, they trained up their bodies, they made themselves transectors, larger bodies basically, and it's like, you know what? That makes more sense.
Yeah.
It makes more sense to me, right? And the fact that robots can train to become stronger, it's like, well, it makes sense because in Japan originally, starting with season 1 essentially as we know it, right? They're super robot life forms,
right?
So life forms. So yeah, they can get stronger even though they're robots. So it made more sense to me. And I like, so what I do is I skip season 4 altogether. I go straight into Headmasters and then Super God Master Force and stuff like that. That's what I do. I like it more. And then on top of that, I like the fact that also in Japan, after Beast Wars here in North America, they still continue with it with Beast Wars the Second and Beast Wars Neo.
Yep.
And that to me is like the true end of as we know, G1. So
yeah,
it goes right back to Unicron.
I kick myself even to this day because I was at a Target a few years ago and they had Lion Convoy, and I never picked them up.
Ooh.
And I kicked myself for not doing that.
Oh, I had Big Convoy.
Oh man.
Oh, I love that figure, man. If they made a masterpiece of that, I would so get it.
Well, speaking of the masterpiece Transformers, do you collect any of them?
I do. I collect them all. Actually, I've had to shave down my collection a bit because I thought, you know what? I'm going to get all the figures from all the lines, like all the way up to Victory and stuff like that. But in this current financial climate that we're in, I'm having to shave it down to up to season 3. So, yeah, which is not bad because when you end up having a lot of figures, you run out of places to put them.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm okay with the first 3 seasons because that's from my childhood primarily, right? And that's what I'm most familiar with, and I'm okay with that. Which, incidentally, I got some train bots for sale. So, and a monster bot, a masterpiece monster bot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, I was in the store the other day and I found Transformers Legacy Galvatron. I picked that up.
Nice.
You broke down.
You did. I don't blame him.
I had seen reviews of it. I'm thinking, this is actually a nice looking figure for once from Hasbro and Takara.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty decent.
So I went hunting around.
That's seen a lot.
I didn't see it at one store, and then I went into another store. I'm all, okay. I see Blitzwing.
Yeah.
I'll take Blitzwing if I have to, but I'm looking for Galvatron. So I said, Mike, you know how things are done at retail.
Oh yeah.
Check behind Blitzwing and see what you find.
But like speaking of Transformers, guys, like has there really been anything that you guys have felt besides Generation 1 that really like, oh, this is amazing? Look, I can say some good things. Oh, is there like with Transformers, like
Beast
Wars.
Wars.
Like Beast Wars? I never got into that, so yeah.
I didn't get into it for the figures. I got into it because of the storyline.
Yeah, that's the way I got into it. I didn't collect any of the figures that came out during Beast Wars run, even Beast Machines. I watched it because of the story. It was a more mature story.
Yeah.
And I just loved how it was told.
I didn't like Beast Machines. I'm sorry.
I didn't like it as much as
the
Beast Wars.
graphics.
I thought it was a downgrade.
Yeah, kind of, because it's like there's the Oracle and now we're making everything like trans-organic. I'm like, what? Why? So, but that's just me. If you like it, you win. But I thought when they started introducing this techno-organic thing, I'm like, oh no, don't do this. This is supposed to be a planet of robots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not techno-organic robots, but that's just me. That's just me.
Right.
So, but if there's one line I really did like after Generation 1, after G1, would be Galaxy Force, Transformers Galaxy Force, which is known as Transformers Cybertron here. You know, part of the Unicron trilogy.
Yeah.
You know, Armada was pretty good. I didn't mind it whatsoever. Super Link, as it's known as in Japan, or Transformers Energon. I like the animation. I didn't like the storyline.
Well, I can remember watching Transformers Armada.
Yeah.
And as they're telling you the beginning of the story, and they're going through Cybertron, all of a sudden my eyes kind of perked up when I'm looking on the screen. I was even recording. I had to rewind it back. I'm all, hey, wait a minute! They put in a cameo by Beachcomber.
Yeah. I like the little cameos, the little Easter eggs here and there. I did like that. And I like the fact that they were taking Micromasters and then just redubbing them as Minicons, which is pretty good. And then the whole Power Link gimmick that they were using, I thought, that's pretty neat, right? It's like rehashing the old ideas of all the Micromasters and stuff like that, which actually I still have some Micromasters actually to this day. I got them like right in front of me. And reintroducing them again, I liked that. I really did like that. But the one series I really liked was Galaxy Force, as it's known in North America as Transformers Cybertron. I don't like the North American Transformers Cybertron, but I like the storyline of Galaxy Force directly from Japan, because it wasn't a continuation of the Unicron trilogy. It's a story all on its own. But in North America, because they originally wanted it as a trilogy, they tried to integrate it in. And it sort of kind of worked, but not really. But I like the designs. I like the animation of Galaxy Force. It was just, I don't know, just something really touched me about that. The animation, the lighting, the storyline. And again, you get brief little cameos in there as well in Japan, of Prime and Jazz, and who was it also? It was Hot Rod, or was it Ultra Magnus? And I think maybe Bumblebee. I can't quite remember. I know I got the picture here somewhere, but man, I had that Starscream from Japan. Oh God, I loved it. And of course, I made the supersized one in here in North America. So and I got that for my son, but I kept the Japanese one for myself. So
yeah, and that's another thing. As a Transformers collector, you see what we're given here in North America, and then you see what they release in Japan. I hate to say it, but all the extra paint apps do make a difference.
They do. And see, on top of that, they don't have to go with the same, child safety toy laws in Japan that they do here, right? So there are certain little extra things that they can do in Japan that they can't do in North America, which I like. So,
so was it the storylines of Beast Wars that you guys really enjoyed? Was there like some kind of tragedy in Beast Wars at all, or was it just, what was it that you guys liked about it? Because I might try it one of these days.
It was a more serious tone compared to what we got in G1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to say that G1 couldn't get serious on occasion. It did, but with Beast Wars, the story theme was all connected.
Okay.
Yes.
What happened in season 1 was connected to season 2. Season 2 connected to season 3, and they would even make references to previous episodes.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel there was also some values in there too, just like G1?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
there
I would
were.
say so, totally.
I would say Primal, even though Optimus is the fatherly figure, Primal was also a fatherly figure, but also a big brother in some cases, and also a stern commander. If his team screwed up, he would call them out on it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I liked how it was, if you can get past season 1, actually still even season 1 is still pretty good, but it starts to integrate this little bit of a mystery into these certain artifacts that they're finding on this primitive world that they're on, right? Which obviously, incidentally, they should have kind of known that it was Earth, being Earth animals and stuff like that. So, but no, it weaves in this little mystery of, these artifacts and stuff like that they're finding on this planet, which leads to, the next revelation that, there are these really super powerful aliens that, that are leaving these behind, which then incidentally leads them into, the ending of season 2, the opening of season 3, which is, the big reveal. I don't want to spoil it for you, but but it's so good. It's like, oh my God, this is awesome. So, no, it's really good. And on top of that, if it wasn't for that show, it really wouldn't have helped me with producing the Beast Wars scale chart that I produced. So, yeah.
And the thing about Beast Wars is it does make references to G1. I'm not going to say how, where, why, and when, but it does make references to G1.
Yeah, it does. So many times. So good.
Yeah. Definitely give it a shot, Cash. You can actually find it on Tubi.
Yeah, I think it's all in 3D if I remember right, because I just remember seeing how those Beast Wars transform or whatever, and I'm like, I just like the regular Transformers better, but maybe I'll give Beast Wars a chance.
I read a thing on a message board a few years ago, and it was somebody who supposedly had the in with Hasbro saying that Hasbro actually had Mainframe, who did the animation for Beast Wars, scan the figures.
What do you guys still think Hasbro does some good things? The funny thing is, all these companies, if they were like, you know what, we screwed up, we can start changing more and we can start making money, because it's always funny to me that these companies are like, no, we can lose money. Why? You're supposed to make money.
Exactly. It's so stupid.
Oh, look. Hey, look who's here.
Mr.
Good to see you, Sandra.
Dolphin.
Here we go.
Up,
shameless plug for him. What dude? His latest book. Yep.
Yeah. Plug.
Yeah,
it seems the third party just may be the way to go, because of course if you sign any kind of contract with these people and you want to read the fine print, obviously, with anything, but it just seems like it's not the best idea, because then they're like, well, we have to change this because these people are going to like this. It's like, no, you're taking away someone's vision. That is not cool.
Precisely. Exactly.
I don't care what it is. If you want to make a woman who looks like Lizzo who sits on people, I don't care. That's your vision.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, this is what I've been trying to do with Keith over at X Transbots, right? Because I've been working with him for, let me think now, God, 3 years? Or was it 4? God, I can't really remember. Anyway, with working with him, what I try to do, like especially with seeing how he does deal with masterpiece scale, is really nudge him in a direction rather intentionally, actually, of because I mean I do have my ear to the fan base, obviously, right? And it's not like I'm trying to manipulate the guy, but how many versions of I don't know, let's say for example, how many versions of I don't know, let's say Astro Train do we need, or Blaster, or like whatever, right? So I try to nudge him in a way of saying like, look, this particular character or characters haven't been done before. Do those, make that a priority, like Runabout and Runamuck, right? The battle characters.
Yeah.
Because there hasn't been a masterpiece figure of those, right? And everybody for years have been saying, I want a masterpiece Runabout and Runamuck. And so I tell them, look, Do that. You're going to corner the market. You're going to make a ton of cash. Do it. Do it. And so he actually listened, right? So they're coming out actually this month and next month, as a matter of fact, right? So he's been sitting on the Constructicons for a long time. He wanted basically everybody to, get theirs out of the way, sit on it for a few years, and then start doing his version. And well, except for Fans Toys, because they haven't put one out, and oh god, and it's taken forever for their aerial bots and Stunticons to come out. So it's like, So what I do is I helped him out with the Pantone color work. So I'll take the original character animation cells with the color and everything like that. I'll match it up with the closest Pantone color. So, and Pantone is like an exact color match of a particular shade, right? In layman's terms, essentially. And you can use it for print, for textiles, like for clothes and stuff like that. And you can even use it in plastics. So what I do with him is I find the closest Pantone color match to the tune, to the
Prepare
cartoon.
for big loads.
Yeah.
Huge loads.
and then make sure that is represented accurately as a figure, so that everybody can pick it up and look at it. It's like, yeah, it's just like the cartoon, and that's what I wanted to introduce.
Yeah, because
nice.
I'd already watched this video, but when I saw it, I said, "That's Lawn Haul."
Yep,
that is Lawn Haul right there.
Exactly. And then I got to tell you what, also on top of that, what I also do, because Keith likes to add all these little extra things, right? That say aren't with a normal masterpiece. Sometimes there are with the normal Takara Tomy masterpiece. Or sometimes, other third-party companies will, maybe leave little gadgets out that they use in the cartoon. I go through every cartoon, and then I add all little particular gadgets that they've used throughout the entire cartoon. And then I submit it to Keith. It's like, okay, here's all the stuff that they use in the cartoons. Add it in there if you can. So, yes, and Foggy Beige, you are correct. They have a numerical value that it's accurate, precisely. So, yeah, because I want everybody to, because collecting figures, here's the thing. We're when it comes to collecting figures, we're all like big kids. Can't lie about it. There's no way about lying about it, right? We're big kids when it comes to stuff like this, right? And part of us wants to hold that figure and do the same thing that the same thing we did when we were kids. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, here's the thing that they used in this particular episode. Pew, 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 pew. Right? Come on. We got to all admit it. That's what we all do.
Yeah. I mean, when Masterpiece Megatron comes with Kremzik,
yes.
What do you want to do with that Kremzik figure? Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that's why comic, like, I don't really collect. I've had some Transformers, of course, when growing up, but the things that I started collecting recently, at least even the last few years, and even waiting with another friend of mine for like a Jigglypuff figure, whereas these amiibos, and now you can actually use them with the Switch, and they're like $15 DLCs, but these figures are pretty amazing, man.
I know,
it's
right?
just the Mega Man, the Zelda, Link. These are pretty amazing looking figures, and I've got at least 40 or so of them.
Oh, yeah, they're so fun. They're so fun. I just recently found a whole whack of them in a container, because my daughter, our youngest daughter, she plays Splatoon 3, right?
Okay.
I know, because I know that we got a whole whack of these amiibos, like these Splatoon amiibos, and they were like somewhere. So I went on a big giant hunt a few weeks ago, and I found them all. I was like, oh, great, thanks, Dad. Awesome. I'm gonna boop, right on the switch. Oh, there's
Dude.
some stuff I can use now. Boop, there's another one. Oop, boop, there's another one. Oh boy.
I waited 3 years to get this figure that was the female version. It's like, no, I'm not paying $50. And there it was on GameStop. And I'm like, I waited 3 years for this, and I finally got this. That is this Corwin figure, this female Corwin figure. I waited 3 years for this, and there it was. I was like, oh, this is so awesome.
It's so fun, isn't it, though?
It is, man.
It is. I mean, I was originally going to buy MP10 when he came out in Japan, go through big bad toy stores and get him that way. And then, Toys R Us makes the announcement that Hasbro has given them the exclusive rights to release MP10 here in the States with Toys R Us, and you could pre-order them online. I'm thinking, I got to get in on that.
Okay, dude, I'm gonna show you something here. Okay. Yes. All right. Now, this is something I did a couple of years ago, and I actually had a backer for this to actually produce a prototype for this. Okay, because you're mentioning MP10. All right. So this is what I made, and to everybody in the chat. Okay, this is the stuff that I do. Okay, so you remember the old 1984 boxes, of course, right? Like everybody does. All right.
Yes.
So.
Ooh.
This is for Masterpiece MP10, all right, that I made. So everything is the same on there, just like the original 1984 box.
Wow.
Right? The pictures on there. If you look at even the name is just like, and even on the bottom, just like the original box, ages, what was it? In this case, for Masterpieces, ages 15 and up. Right?
Oh,
I even did the same on the sides.
Nice.
Right? Wow. Yep. The bottom is the same as the original box. Okay.
That's awesome.
Now get this. And the insert, I made a custom insert for this too, right? So it fits it fits it. And then the back. Remember the battle scene in the back?
Yeah. Because it was on the back of the boxes. It was also on lunch boxes and other things.
Yep. Now the barcode is the exact same as the original toy. I kept the exact box. So if you were to scan that, probably it'd be like, it's like $15 or whatever it was, right? So I did the robot points as well. That was the same on the original toy, and I did the stats as well.
That's awesome. So, did you use like a 3D printer for something like that, or
nope?
Was there some? Okay,
this is all cardboard.
That's awesome.
And I got it printed. So what
Sweet.
And I've been toying with this idea, right? Of maybe making these G1 homage boxes for Masterpiece. So if you got like, anything from Takara Tomy that they've released, I'll make it fit in a box, just like the original box, like back in 1984, right? Or if they haven't made if there's a third party representation that's the closest, then I'll eventually produce a box like that.
So with something like that, you don't obviously have to get permission from Hasbro or anything like that because it's a third party. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I already have a design made for Masterpiece Megatron. I got one for Soundwave. I got one for Sideswipe. I think I have one made for Soundwave's tapes. Because as you know, or as you might remember, they were basically like, on a card, with a blister pack kind of thing, right?
Yep. They were, and the mini bots were.
Yeah. And so I thought, well, in Japan, they came in a box. So it's like, you know what? Maybe I'll just make a box. So that's what I did. And so I got, wonder if I can just share these images. I should share the images. Yeah, I think I'll share the images. If that's okay with you.
That's perfectly fine.
Oh, yeah.
Shows all about you today.
We like showing stuff.
Is it? Okay, fine. Let me bring up the image.
And while you're doing that, I'm gonna just ask you this question: what is it about Transformers that even today it still captures your imagination?
You know what the thing was? Okay, because growing up, my parents didn't have a lot of money, right? And we had, at the time, a lot of Lego. And so I built a lot of stuff. There's Sideswipes box that I made because I did the box design for X Transbot, so I already had a bit of skill making boxes, right? So that'll be Sideswipes box. So what it was is, we had a lot of Lego, so I built everything out of Lego, and unfortunately, my parents couldn't buy, Transformers because I wanted them so much. So yeah, there's one for Megatron, and so what it was is, I liked the concept of Transformers because it was like 2 or 3 toys in one, right? If I wanted a car, then I could just transform it and make it a car. If I wanted, there's a Soundwave one, so I love that one.
Sweet.
Yeah. So if I wanted, several toys that all comes in one, well then that's what I wanted. But unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of money back then, so I ended up building everything out of Lego. And so I built an Optimus Prime out of Lego that I made transform. And this is like back in the 80s, right? I actually still have the instructions that I drew for building a Lego Optimus Prime.
Dude, I remember when I was playing with Legos, I really enjoyed building like spaceships, and I'm like, wow, I can actually, or building the castle or changing the castle around.
Oh yeah,
from the original instructions, or building the pirate ship. It was like all these pieces, like, wow, this is so cool.
but the thing is, it was just the fact that it was like multiple toys in one, and that's what I liked about it.
Yes.
And to me, I suppose in a childish kind of way, it was a way to save money. But look, Mom, it's a car, but it's also a robot. It's like buying 2 toys in one. Come on.
Yeah, and if I buy these 5 particular robots that turn into vehicles, guess what? I can combine them into a bigger robot.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
right. Exactly.
But I think it was the story behind it also. When introduced in Marvel, apparently it was just a planet entirely mechanical that just happened to come about with gears and whatnot, just naturally, showing up kind of thing. And I think the one line that really grabbed me in the original Marvel comic, because obviously you knew it was like 2 factions at war, but I think the one line that really stood out to me, because I'm gonna fudge it, or because I know it wasn't exactly Bob Budiansky that came up with the script. He came up with the whole profiles and stuff like that. But I'm trying to remember who wrote it. The first story, because now I'm almost blanking out, but not quite. I'll figure it out here. It was Ralph Macchio. That's who it was. Yeah, Ralph Macchio. When he said there was a particular thing, but every paradise has its serpent, and on this world it was Megatron, commander of those who call themselves the Decepticons, right? And it was just that few lines, but every serpent has its paradise, right? And I suppose you could say, growing up in a kind of a Christian household, believing in the Bible, believing in God, this kind of resonated to me, right? Because you get this scene that Cybertron, this world of entire metal, is just like literally it's a mechanical paradise, right? And populated by super robot life forms, but there's always that little thing that just has to spoil it all, right? And I don't know,
Yep.
just for some other reason, it just kind of caught on with me.
And the thing about that is that everybody who was involved in the creation of Transformers, the Hasbro execs who went over to Japan and saw the Diaclone line from Takara and a few other lines that they incorporated into Transformers, and then you had guys like Bob Budiansky and others at Marvel coming up with the profiles and story for the characters.
Yep.
It took a lot of imagination.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
It did. It's like, Hasbro comes to the office one day. Hey, we got an idea. We want you guys to make a comic. Oh, okay. And then Jim Shooter goes to Bob Budiansky's office. It's like, I need profiles on these characters. Like, what? And apparently back in the day, like, see, Marvel, even back in the 70s when they did 2001, they really didn't like doing movie adaptations or even toy adaptations, right? But when they first brought in Star Wars and it was a huge hit, they kind of started thinking differently about, movie adaptations. And then toys were starting to go, getting that mindset as well. But ROM hit it really big, even though it was like the only figure that they ever came out with in the toy line. And then Micronauts and stuff like that, which was, a big, huge seller. And of course, G.I. Joe. So, they knew that by going to Marvel, okay, we need a story, we need profiles. This is going to be it, but a lot of people, still kind of made fun of it because, you're writing for a child's toy line, really?
Yeah.
So, but it sticks even to this day.
Yeah, even to this day, and that's one thing that a lot of people may or may not know, that Marvel, both on the comic side and in the animation side, had a hand in Transformers.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And to this day, I mean, what's no matter how much they try to push a new line. Right now, I mean, granted, like we said before, Armada was pretty good. Like a lot of the earlier lines were pretty good. Robots in Disguise before Armada came out, that was really good. God, I pretty much got like every one of those figures when it first came out for my son. I love that line as well. A lot of them still stand the test of time. But it always falls back to the original because that's where everybody's heart is. And even to this day, as like, for example, Cash Money was saying, looking for a Galvatron and stuff, it always goes back to Generation 1.
Yeah.
Because that's the stuff that still sells, right? It's like
just like with Star Trek.
Yeah,
it goes back to the original series.
Exactly.
Just like with Star Wars, it always goes back to the first 3 movies.
Yes.
Right.
Because nothing will change the original impact.
No.
That the original stuff had.
Exactly. It's just like seeing the first live action movie in 2007 and hearing Peter Cullen's voice for the first time in 21 years as Prime.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there and he's going, before time began. I'm going, Prime. My Prime.
Exactly. What did you think of the new one that came out?
Rise of the Beast, I actually thought that was one of the better live action movies.
Yeah. Huh. It was, in a sense, I think. Okay. No, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, we've received, Bumblebee, and then of course, the first 5, but I really felt that was one of the better movies. Now, to be quite honest with you, and I even said this in my review of it after I got out of the theater, Transformers, the movie from '86, is still number 1.
Oh yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But for this movie, they just seem to bring together more of the elements. They seem to work a little bit better. I'm not saying it was perfect because it wasn't perfect,
right?
But it was better than some of the movies that we've received. I rank it behind Bumblebee as number 2, with Rise of the Beast being number 3, and Transformers the movie from '86 being number 1 out of all the movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the first one, then with the Michael Bay movies, it just, I don't know, to me it almost started going really downhill. I really liked Bumblebee. It had I mean, you got to see Cybertron, and you got to see a really good homage to original characters, and I did like that. I didn't quite like this new one, and that's just me, because it's supposed to, for some odd reason, supposed to be a continuation of Bumblebee, but it's not, because now you got to see Wheeljack and Bumblebee on Cybertron, and then you see him again like on Earth, and now he's like Latino and an ice cream truck or whatever it was, like this van. It's like, what happened here?
Yeah, what happened between Bumblebee, where he looked like a pretty good movie rendition of his G1 self?
Yeah,
and not only him, but Brawn. You also saw Shockwave in its true form, and you saw Ironhide and Ratchet, and
Soundwave popping out Ravage. Oh, that was so good.
Yeah,
Cliff Jumper.
Yeah. No love for Cliff Jumper. got in half. Anyway, but that's what I like about Transformers. So that's my jam. So I think slowly, though, I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm getting out of the collecting side of things. I'm refining it. Let's put it that way.
Well, it can be expensive, man. That's for sure.
Oh God, tell me about it, right? Jeez. Because a few years ago, I sold my Masterpiece Devastator because I knew Keith was putting out a his version, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll get that one instead. And so now they're starting to come out, and I'm like, crap, I'm gonna have to buy these all over again because I sold my other ones. So, yeah, I know it pulls you back in every once in a while. It's like, damn it. So.
It's like I had said earlier about seeing Galvatron, seeing reviews for him and going, I gotta find that figure, because watching the review, you go, that's a nice looking figure, but once you're able to find it in person, even though I haven't unboxed it yet, I can't wait to unbox it and actually look at it in person for myself and just see all the sculpting detail that they put into the figure. And
yeah, that's true. It is an art unto itself. So, because you gotta have some skill, man. And the thing is, with working with Keith, you really understand the whole process of manufacturing figures, like not just Transformers in general, right? Producing a Transformers figure, but just in general, like figures, period, right? Because with doing a lot of the Pantone color work, for these, then on top of that, it's up to the designer, like the CAD designer. It's not Keith, it's actually somebody else, to come up with the CAD model for a figure. And then you have to obviously pay the designer, and that can be like tens of thousands of dollars because it's very complicated. And then you have to pay a lot of money on top of that to get dies made. Once you have the CAD design, then you have to get the physical dies made, right? The metal dies to actually produce the parts, and that can be thousands of dollars as well. And then and then once you make a test figure, you have to make sure everything works right, everything goes to where it's supposed to go. If there's a flaw in the design, because there might be some breakage in a possible limb or something like that, or something doesn't tuck in the right way, well, then it has to go back to the designer, and they have to make little modifications. Hopefully that still keeps the aesthetic, but not sacrifice the whole integrity of the figure itself, right? So there's a lot of replanning, and then on top of that, you have to get a new die made, and there's more thousands of dollars on top of that. Then another testing phase. So a lot of people don't realize, how much work can actually go into it before you actually get the final product.
And yet, still, some of these third-party companies will release the final product, and you see somebody reviewing it, and you see different stress marks on the figure because of the transformation, and something is always getting in the way. And
yeah, I like what T-Gap said. Yeah, tucking in the right way means something else at Target.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Oh my gosh, T-Cap.
I know. Yeah.
You had to go there, didn't you?
He did. I like
he did.
Of course he did.
Well, that's one person. There's one person that likes you, T-Cap. Revel in it.
Oh, T-Cap. Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it really opens your eyes to manufacturing as well. And I'm working with another guy online on Facebook. Met him a couple of times. Really, really nice guy. And we're slowly planning. And you've probably seen it in my YouTube videos. Yeah, it's going to be a 2-scale Metroplex figure. 4 feet tall, right? He's going to be 2 scale, and he actually transforms, and it's going to be like lights added on top of that, and I'll be doing the box art for that whenever it finally comes out. But it's a slow process because he's already got the prototype over at his place. Oh, it looks so beautiful, man. I wanted so bad. Well, I actually cut a deal for him. It's like, okay, I do the box art for you, and I think on top of that, help you out with a website. And the deal is that I get 2 of them.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So So and then after that, we're planning on a Triptychon, which we definitely want to do. I mean, who doesn't want a 4-foot dinosaur that transforms into a battle station? I mean, come on.
Well, also, look at it this way. You can't have Metroplex without Triptychon.
Exactly. So whenever and if ever that happens, that's the plan. One I'm definitely going to keep to myself because, why wouldn't I? And the other one, and then the other one, I think I want to do as a subscriber giveaway. So, that was the plan for the longest time. So I just have to see how things go first, with the whole planning stages. So, it's gonna be sweet. But like I said, it's slowly going to be not exiting entirely out of the whole Transformers community, but just going a little bit under the radar a little bit more, and focusing more on comics. So producing my own comic, because this is something I've been wanting to do, for a long time. Back in the 90s when Image came out. When the Big 7 left Marvel and started Image Comics, I think I was around 21, 22 at the time. What was it, 93, 94? Oh my God, such a long time. 30 years ago, let's put it that way. 93. Yeah, it was around 93. So, God, time flies. It inspired a lot of us in my neighborhood to look, if these guys can do it, we can do it too. Oh, that naive attitude. Oh, it's like, oh, you sweet child of spring, you have no idea what you're getting into. So,
even so, look at Eric July with Isom. He started that from the ground up. So if that's not inspiration for someone, I don't know what is.
Well, that's true, but and this is back in the 90s. On top of that, obviously, we didn't have we
didn't have what we have now. It was much harder to get a comic book off the ground back 30 years ago than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's funny because like Marvel and DC Comics, and it's funny, like you're like, oh, these characters were already like this before, but they're like, no, we have to change them, instead of saying, let's make a new character that has this gender or has this, and maybe interesting. Oh, this character could die, come back, kill other characters, have relationships. Like, it's amazing to me that they don't care about that stuff anymore. As long as it checks certain boxes, that it's fine. And I've even had other conversations comic about how great the 52s are and stuff. And when I read Batwoman or some of it, I was like, oh, so it's like, no. Batwoman was actually, excuse me, she was actually developed many, many years ago. They just wanted to change her because something was wrong because of the way she was before. And it's like, wow, so that's why so many people were upset about this comic. Now it all makes sense.
Flawed, but now we have to fix her.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, you bastards. but this is how it came about, really in back in the 90s, when Image was coming out, and I met up with a bunch of guys at a flea market, no less. Because I was selling a bunch of comics. There were some comics, I didn't want anymore, right? So I was selling them at a flea market in St. John, New Brunswick. Rhoda's flea market. Oh man, and there was like hundreds of people there all the time. And so it was basically the thing to do on a Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, right? So, I'm sitting there, I have my tunes playing on my radio and stuff like that, on my tape deck, on my boom box. And, you end up meeting a bunch of guys. It's like, oh, you sell comics? It's like, oh, yeah, dude, I sell comics. Yeah. Thinking about, producing my own comic. And so you find these other writers and these other artists and stuff like that. And, of course, back then, we called them fanzines, right? They were just comics made by comic fans, right? So fanzines. And it's like, so it was either my brother or myself that came up with our title name, which is copyrighted and trademarked right now because I made sure I had to do that. So we came up with the name. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put that out there. So we came up with Drop Off Comics, right? Because everything, especially with Rob Liefeld, in his Extreme Studios, right? Everything was extreme. Yeah, brother.
It was the 90s, dude.
You're gonna enjoy this comic right now. It's gonna make you just fall off the
I'm gonna give you this comic that you're gonna love. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just look at the artwork. It shows you that.
Yeah, exactly, right? So we came up with the name Drop Off Comics because you're gonna drop off the deep end, right? And so that's kind of where that whole shtick came from, calling ourselves that. So what was it? I produced and our art was so bad. Looking back on it now, it was like so bad. I was more manga inspired. My brother was more oh yeah, there we go. Comic Relief, a broom box with 2 tape decks built in, I assume. Yes, it was. And the whole length fold up handles, the collapsible. Yes, it was. Totally was. I always broke
volume.
Yep. I always friggin' broke the stupid damn antenna off. Hated it. But yeah, always had it on my shoulder. It's like the tunes. Yeah. At the time,
boom chugga boom 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 chugga boom 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 chugga boom 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 chugga chugga.
But what did we end up doing? I ended up going to like a lot of stationery stores, buying pencils and rulers and was it those rub-on letters or something like that, for lettering, the credits page. And so I was into manga. My brother was into Iron Man at the time and Punisher. And what was it? Some of my friends were into X-Men, X-Force, stuff like that, right? And we had to, luckily, my mom was in real estate. And so we had to buy our own paper. And once we had pages drawn, and I did everything on 11 by 17, but I had to do it, like landscape, because I drew everything small. Because I didn't know at the time that, all the professional artists were drawing, vertical, on 11 by 17, right? That's how they got all the detail. I didn't know that at the time. So I was doing it horizontal and trying to fit in basically like 2 pages, and then, having to fold it together, photocopying it all, to produce like this comic. And oh my God, I wonder, I still have them here somewhere. And so some of us tried to do like, a gimmick thing. So I had mine pre-bagged, sealed in the bag. And because at the time I think X-Force #1 came out, and it was like, pre-bagged with the collector's card inside and stuff like that. So my mom had this vacuum bag sealer, for using for food, to put in the freezer and stuff like that. So I borrowed that, and I pre-bagged all my #1 comics that I produced, and we started marketing ourselves to comic shops and convenience stores, all the places where you would find comic books back in the day, right?
Right.
There was no, I mean, there was a little bit of direct marketing, but most of it you still found in grocery stores and convenience stores and liquor stores and comic book shops. And so we started marketing ourselves, and we were selling issues, and we also sold them at the flea market because that's where we all hung out. And next thing we know, CBC Radio, which is one of the main broadcasters up here in Canada, they got wind of us, and they did a short radio interview, right? And and then there were some creative differences, and we around the mid 90s or whatever it was, and we ended up breaking up like the Beatles. So, as I fondly like to put it, and
who was your Yoko?
I'm trying to think who our Yoko was. I think it was my brother. Was it my brother, or was it a former friend of ours? I think it was Scott Walsh. It was either my brother or Scott Walsh. That we ended up, because we needed to figure out who the president of the company was going to be, right?
Right.
Yeah. And it's like, well, why does there need to be a president? We're not even a full-blown publisher. Does it really matter? Like, really? Seriously? Hey, Everest, how's it going?
Hey, Crit.
Hey, Crit.
Hey, what's up, Crit?
So I thought we don't really need to make that choice. Come on, right? No. We need to be legit. It's like, oh, whatever. Let's just stop. And then, you find a girlfriend, you end up getting married, you have kids, you put it all to the side, right? Because now you got new responsibilities and stuff like that. So, I haven't drawn in a long time. And this goes back to, again, when I started my channel, a little over 2 years ago. You start finding other creators, like I mentioned before, like say Doomcock or Nerdronic and stuff like that. And it was around that time also that I discovered Collaborating Times.
Clobby.
Clobby. I mean, everybody knows Clobby, or at least everybody in our circles knows Clobby. And and he was a guy that that was talking about comic books. And I started listening, And it's like, wow, this guy really knows his comic books. And he starts talking about, the artists and the creators. Yeah, back when being legit meant something so far from reality. Yeah, so far from reality. It might as well started with a long time ago. Yeah, exactly, right? So but he was a guy that was really passionate about the stories, the artists, the letterers, the inkers, like everybody, about certain titles. I think he's more of a DC kind of guy than Marvel, but whatever. He was talking about it all, and it really reignited that fire to wow, here's something that I really enjoyed, and I don't collect them anymore. And back when life was fun, and it just reignited something. I don't know what it was, and and then through him, I met up with Hungry Boy. And if you know who Hungry Boy is, you know who Hungry Boy is. If you don't, he's a retired formal Marvel artist.
Okay.
Yeah. Really nice guy. Really nice guy. His his laugh is infectious, I'll tell you that much. No, he's a real fun guy. So we kind of struck up a friendship kind of haphazardly. It just, I don't know, it just happened. And so, and I only found out that he used to work in comics because, Claudia had mentioned it on and off about something. It's like, oh, this guy used to work in comics, and he's on this channel. And I mean, of course, we don't know who Hungry Boy is, and I understand, because he has royalties to protect and stuff like that, and it came out, blah blah blah. The whole cancel culture thing, right? So I respect that 100%. I have no idea who Hungry Boy is, so don't even bother to ask because I don't know. So, we got to chatting, and this is around the time, like, a little over a year ago, where Raymond and I were talking about, doing a prequel comic for his books. And so a few months ago, like I think maybe 6 months ago, we were really starting to talk about it. And so I did character designs for Raymond for his book. Actually, maybe I should probably show you a little something right now.
That'd be great.
I think so.
And we also have a question from the chat from Lord Crit of Everest Productions, who says, what's your favorite comics to collect, Crusader, DC or Marvel?
I've always been a Marvel guy. That's whatever. No. It's like, it was what? And the reason is no. I mean, I used to, like, way back in the day. You got the Archie Digest and stuff like that, right? Because every young kid did, right? And I think what got me started on Marvel, it was like one weekend my dad had to go into work on a Saturday, and he took me to work with him. And you sit around in the office while he's working in the garage and whatnot, because he was a diesel mechanic, worked for Irving, which is big in the Maritimes Canada. And so wanted to break out for lunch, and there was a diner nearby. And so we went there. And so, we're sitting down having lunch, and he got me a comic book. And it was a Marvel comic book, and it was a Marvel reprint of an old issue where Spider-Man goes up against the Living Brain, this robot, where he, where, what was it? This professor asks the question, who is Spider-Man, right? And of course, it would take, obviously, the robot, quite a while to figure out this, with his calculations and stuff like that to figure out. And of course, this had Peter Parker nervous, so he had to sneak into the lab at night and, take away the answer so nobody could find out that he was Spider-Man. So he got me that comic, and to this day, I don't know whatever happened to that issue. I want to find that issue again. I would love to find that issue again. but that turned me on to Marvel, because here's an ordinary guy that's living his life, still in school, but he's also a superhero on top of that. And it just hooked me on to Marvel, and again, that's what ended up leading me to getting all the Transformers issues, and then, Ghost Rider and Gru the Wanderer. And yes, I even got the Alf comics back in the day. And it,
How about the Married with Children?
Stuff.
Did you get the Married with Children
from Now Comics?
That was Marvel. Marvel had that with their.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's my opinion on current day Transformers? Oh boy.
Oh.
Okay.
Thank you, Grit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man. Well, this new series that's out, what's it called? Earthspark or whatever
it is? Earthspark, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Where there's non-binary Autobot. I'm thinking,
they're robots.
They're robots.
But they go by they them. Oh, frick! What a
real true trans.
Kids do not need to see that nonsense, and you can just tell that there is definitely a stamp on there that there's.
Well, it's produced by Nickelodeon, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some agenda there where there doesn't need to be any at all.
No, there doesn't.
Are they going to say that like Transformers before only liked white kids? Is that where we're going to go next? I mean, this stuff is stupid, dude. It's just stupid.
No, the past few years, I think even before the series of Earthspark, whatever the series was before that, I used to hang on to all the issues like on my backup drive, but lately I haven't, and it's just such a bore, and it's not the same, and I know. Oh well, the old man is just saying it's not the same like back in his day. It's like, well, but it's not.
Back in my day.
Not.
What
now the Autobots and Decepticons are friends, and they're all getting along, and because we put the war behind us, and then we got to get these renegades.
War on Cybertron or anything. No.
Like complete, and then because it's produced by Nickelodeon, it's like, now we got to introduce the whole they, them, friggin' he, she, them, it, blah 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 kind of bull crap. It's like, this is shit.
These are robots, people.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God!
I have a robot form, but yet I have a stick shift.
But then, exactly. I have a mighty powerful pneumatic piston for you. But and then of course you were starting to get an IDW near the last 5 years of their run. And it's like, oh, you're introducing this crap, and everybody's celebrating. Oh, these are the best issues ever. It's like, this is bull crap. I don't even want to read.
Wrong.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing where this person writes this or has this show, and if you don't like it, then don't watch it. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
all right.
And then they get upset because you're not. It's like,
but now you need to come back. You got to watch it. Why aren't you watching it? Oh, you're.
So I read the new Transformers #1 from Image, right? I read that like a few days ago, and I mean, I gotta say it's right because this is only the first issue, so the artwork's not too bad. I'll give it that. It's not too bad. There's a little bit of, I don't want to say retconning. Let's say a little bit of race swapping. So I don't know if this is intentional or whatever, but if you remember back in the original cartoon, Carly, who was the love interest of Spike,
and future mother Daniel.
Exactly.
She
looks.
Okay, gotcha.
She went to MIT, so smart girl, smart character. Blonde hair, blah blah blah. In the comic, they make her, she's like, I don't know, like an art major or something like that. And they make her look Asian. So it's like, all right, because in my head, I'm like, okay, this is a slightly different universe. So there's going to be, because Hollywood takes liberties and the comic industry is no different.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sort of letting it slide a bit, but they do keep with the whole G1 homage of they're all in the arc, they're all in pieces. Jetfire comes along because if you read the Void Rivals issues, Jetfire is on another planet, wakes up, he goes whoosh, and so he shows up in Transformer 1, issue 1, reactivates the arc, and the arc does, exactly what the arc does, like back in the original show, right? Wakes up and starts putting back all the Transformers together. Well, it just happens to be the Decepticons first, just like in the original show. Battle. And, so the Autobots have to leave the arc. But, I think Optimus destroys Teletran 1, so it prevents the arc from waking up other Decepticons. And so they have to hide out in an abandoned mine, which is an homage to issue 15 of the Marvel issue, where the Decepticons take over an abandoned mine back in Marvel. Hey, Deef, how's it going? So
another Canadian. There we go.
Another Canadian. Yeah. So it's a nice homage. So it's not too bad. But yeah, so what was I going
So even IDW have decided to start having an agenda, because aren't they supposed to be more independent?
Yeah, but
they've had them for a while.
Yeah, they did. Even with G.I. Joe. That's why another buddy of mine over at Pub Culture.
Gary Cassell?
Gary.
Yeah.
He worked at IDW.
Yeah, he got hosed over. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he totally did.
Over by him.
Yeah. So and he freaking left.
Because IDW is supposed to be one of the good ones, or they were for a long time, right?
Well, they used to be. Yeah.
Used to be.
So when did they started changing? Just a few years ago?
No, I would say probably about maybe 10. I would say. You think that's about right, Baron? About there?
Oh, something like that.
Roughly. Yeah. Maybe 8, I don't know, something like that. And
he got the job. Yeah, he got a job there, and after he got put on, there was that one guy who took over the head, and he didn't like people's politics or veteran statuses. So what was promised to Gary, he got hosed over, but he was able to do, at least not too long ago, a killer cover to one of the G.I. Joe comics.
It was so good. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm watching carefully what happens with Image. I'm going to think that maybe eventually the same thing is probably going to happen, depending. Because Image is now no different, really. I mean, if you take a look at some of those Savage Dragon issues with Eric Larson, oh boy. Yowza, he's gone really to the dark side of the Force. So so there was that. So back to what I was getting back to, meeting up with Hungry Boy and then talking about with Raymond about his prequel comic. So what's been happening lately over the past couple of months, and and I'm not bragging, I'm just kind of like telling you, what's kind of going on in my neck of the woods, because I've also kind of, mentioned it on my channel and stuff like that, because I like to keep people up to date. So he's, oh boy, is he ever, he's really training me with the whole comics thing. So he's putting me through the paces, I'll tell you that. And so, he occasionally has me doing these, these tests, so which I love to call my hungry tests. And so he gives me particular assignments to do, and along with that, it's okay. He'll go on occasion. He'll give me to do some some homework, right? Yeah, exactly. Me, Grimlock, say no pronouns. Just smashing and petrol rabbits. So, so he'll get me to do some homework. He's like, okay, I want you to read, like, for example, like the last test that he had me do. I want you to go and find like the 70s Vampirilla comics. Oh yeah, that's right. And it's Thanksgiving up here in Canada. So yes, happy Thanksgiving to all of you in Canada. Deef and Killer Rabbit and Foggy Brains and anybody else that happened to be in the chat and stuff like that. Yeah, so I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, you all.
And so, yeah, it's like, I want you to read like the old 70s Vampirilla comics, not any of the new Vampirilla comics out there. I want you to read the old ones. So it's like, so luckily, you know, you go to places that actually have these comics online and you download them. And so, so part of the homework is reading comics. I swear.
What a rough life.
Oh, I know, it's so hard.
I like that kind of homework.
I know, right? Yeah, this is the kind of homework I can get into, especially Vampirilla. So you're
how you doing?
Yeah, exactly. So you grow an appreciation for a lot of this old art, and you kind of get into the mindset of, you know, where he likes art, which is great, because he really appreciates a lot of the you know, older artists, you know, that came before, not any of this new crap that's out right now.
Well, it's everything, man. I mean, even recently the the Spider-Man 2 thing, it's like, why Insomniac Games are you making her face a little fatter?
Oh God, I know.
And people will go, why is it a big deal to you? It's a big deal because it doesn't look as good to me. It just doesn't.
Exactly.
I don't.
And here's the thing:
you
read some of the comments. I was reading some, and they made a lot of sense. It's like, no, I don't want to look at a frumpy looking Mary Jane.
Yeah,
that's
not
not
a hot babe,
dude. It's the same thing where people were like, "What? You're not going to buy a game like Escape from Monkey Island because of the art?" Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't like that pixel art where the retro style is way better to me. I don't like that pixel Minecraft art for a game like that. No. It's just, I think it was Ron Gilbert. Yeah, it was Ron Gilbert got all his panties in a knot about it. Oh, well, I'm not going to talk about this game before it comes out anymore. People are attacking the art. Do you understand how much time and effort they put into this? It's like, dude, shut up. Like, seriously,
I know, right?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, yeah. No, because
Thundercats Go. You got the Prince of Power. It's like, this stuff is so easy to mock, man. And then people get mad at you. They even might send you threats because they love this stuff so much. It's like, this is great art to you. Hey, if you like it, more power to you. I like to mock it. That's what I like to do.
That's right. Again, and it goes back to, if you like it, you win.
Yeah.
But here's something that's actually better.
Well,
unless you're a sensitive friggin' fop.
When the Netflix She-Ra Princess of Power was coming out, and they first released the first, you know, stills of the show showing the art, I looked at it and said, "This art's crap. It's absolutely crap."
Yeah,
exactly.
Where is the
and I even said that in the comments section, and someone's like, "Well, the art from the 80s wasn't better." I'm thinking,
really?
Bullshit, it wasn't better. Bullshit, it wasn't better.
You have like people like Ron Lim, and you have John Byron. You have, oh my God, you had Jim Lee and McFarlane, even in the late 80s. Like, come on, man! Don't
look at the art. Even
I just pulled a Joe Biden. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Seriously.
I gotta get my sippy cup, but no. Yeah.
Yeah. What? Ice cream. Sippy cup. Oh, I just crapped my pants.
Anyone hear that ice cream truck?
I'm sorry, your M&M's. So, but like, really, you're gonna say that? Oh, come on! Have I got issues to introduce to you? You know, such a weak argument.
You're gonna tell me that the art from 2002 He-Man is better than what they're putting out now. You know, a lot of it. Are you going to tell me? You're going to tell me that something like Thundercats Go is better than the original Thundercats or even the remake Thundercats art style? No way. You're going to tell me that's better than Batman the Animated Series or even Batman Beyond, which was pretty amazing. I mean, sure, whatever you guys want to believe.
That was great.
Oh,
yeah,
Batman Beyond was great.
Oh yeah,
very good show, really good show. Yeah,
but no. So you do this homework, and then it's like, oh yeah, I want you to draw now. I want you to draw this, and I want you to draw that, and I want you to draw this at a, I don't know, like a 30-degree angle, not quite to the side, but not quite to like. I want you to draw this at a 45-degree angle, looking up at 30 degrees, and I want the other object, more at a 50-degree angle, from a certain other type of angle, and I want you to make this kind of look shiny and that kind of look like more matte, and it's like, oh my God, really? Are you kidding me? Oh my God! It's like, so then you submit all this art to him. All this stuff that you do, and it's like, okay, this is good, but I need you to move this character closer to that, and show a little bit more of this and a little bit more of that. It's like, okay, so you're gonna erase like a whole crap load of lines that you've already made, and then redraw it all, and then it's like, okay, well, no, I'm doing this exactly how you said it. No, I want you to move it even a little bit more closer. It's like, oh God, okay, fine. So then you move it as close as possible. Yeah, I want you to cover up part of the leg, should be covering up part of the face, the other thing, and then do this and do that, and it's like you submit it, you get it done, and it's like, oh, this is 10 times better than your first stuff. It's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, thank God I don't have to keep doing this.
It's like, oh, thank you, Jesus, it's done. So, oh yeah, okay. So I was gonna share something, wasn't I? Okay. So this is some of the character sketches that I'm doing for Raymond Feliciano for his book that he wants to do, The Dolphin Wars. So
that's
because
like
I kind of
the old style of like the anime of like the 80s kind of thing. I see it. I'm guessing that's what this Dolphin Wars prequel is. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I always try to start off with some sort of character sketch, because I need, to me, as a graphic designer, I need details, right? And like, okay, tell me about this person, so you start reading the book and you start jotting down some notes and stuff like that, and and then what I ended up having to do is let me have a look here, because this is all research. What you have to do is start, because she's supposed to be a soldier. So you start looking at pictures of Israeli IMD or IFD or IDF. Yes, IDF.
Israeli Defense Force, IDF. Yep.
Yes. So you start looking at some of the women that.
Oh, she can defend me any day.
Yes, exactly. Right. So it's like, okay, so you got a general idea of kind of like how some of these women look. And so you want to try to incorporate that in. So, this is pretty much a preliminary sketch of sorts, right? So then, of course, like with this picture, you have to exactly know what a flight suit looks like. So that takes a bit of, and again, it's all research. So there was that. And then I think the other one here, oops, that's the wrong window. Sharing is caring.
Except for certain things that get left behind in Las Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. So then, and so this is one of the other characters. So again, it's like, pretty much preliminary sketches. So, and this guy's supposed to have, more of a Vietnam, more of an Asian kind of, look to him. So It's primarily more like, looking at, again, faces.
Oh, there we go.
And
yeah.
So there's just so many to pick from, so you kind of have to like mishmash it all together, sort of. And so it's still basically a work in progress, but he enjoys it so far. It's like, oh wow, this is awesome. This is exactly like the look I kind of want to go with, So like more of a manga look. Yeah. Pretty men. So.
Well, I think I said it before on the show. It's like this Dolphins War would make a great anime series or anime film. Yeah. And the fact that you're going with that manga style is perfect in my opinion.
Yeah. So that's shop to bid on The Price is Right. So what's going on, and then on top of that, trying to come up with my own stuff, because eventually, like I mentioned before, I want to be doing my own stuff as well. So it's a bit of research with that as well. So
this stuff, it takes time. It's not like you can wake up one morning and have it all put together. No, it takes time.
It does.
The Mashegama that's in there. Oy vey, T-Gap Steve. He wants to turn around and ask if I'm Jewish enough. I tell you what, I go down to the deli, get myself a good matzo ball, a nice cold, have a nice mutton sandwich, mutton, lettuce, and tomato. Make sure, of course, we can make sure no dairy at all. Yeah.
Yeah, but on top of that, I gotta get the bagel, the schmear, and stuff like that. Gonna go down, pray after that to the synagogue, talk to the rabbi about this boy on my
Rabbi
foot.
Schwartz. He's a good guy. Rabbi Schwartz. He did my circumcision. Yes.
Is it kosher not to remove it? Especially on Shabbat. I don't know. So.
Well, a great breast is wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to have my bar mitzvah.
Are you? You're that young.
Yes.
That's amazing, man.
Well,
you de-aged.
Yes.
Well, no. Did you hear what Kirk Douglas did? When Kirk Douglas got to, I can't remember what age it is, but it's considered that when you get to a certain age, you're considered basically that was the life end. And of course, he loved to continue on. He went 15 years after that. He goes, now it's time for my second bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
Oh, second bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh, thanks, T-Gap. Yeah. He says, nice. She could have stepped off of the Robotech comic art book. Yeah. Thanks, man. Actually, somebody had said that it looks very, for some odd reason, it looks very Gundam, from the Gundam manga as well. So I know. I'm thinking giant robots yet again played a role.
Or dare I say it, because it might bring up Phil McCracken, Star Blazers.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of Phil McCracken, he loves his GoBots, so loves those GoBots.
That's what it is.
He is a GoBot guy.
He literally hates GoBots comic for some reason. We don't really know why, but he says they're the poor man's or whatever
Transformer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
every kid.
It's so weird, man. Do you know those GoBot toys were well made? So whatever he wants to say, he can say.
Well, if you need to know, I have all the episodes available for you. So I do, because aside from all the Transformer scale charts that I've done, I was thinking about doing a GoBots one.
Right. Well, dude,
no issue with that. A lot of us Transformer fans were also GoBot fans.
However,
some won't admit it.
Right, but however people feel about Hanna-Barbera, and some things that are changed, like about Scooby-Doo and Velma, I'm not going to go all into that. I might have to throw something, but there was so much enjoyment from the Jetsons to things like GoBots. You just go down the list from just so many great cartoons that they just came up with. Just amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Flintstones is still enjoyable.
It is. Let me share that, because this I've literally sold worldwide. So these scale
like that.
posters, I've sold them to.
Oh, that's cool.
I've sold them to third-party companies, like literally like Fans Toys, X Transbots, Make Toys, Fans Hobby, stuff like that. And because back in 2001, I did a prototype card game for Hasbro, like literally a Transformers card game, collectible card game, because card games were all the rage, right?
Right.
So I did a ton of research, and this is how I ended up getting into the Japanese series, because I discovered the Japanese series. And so I was talking to a guy named Josh Izzo in Hasbro, used to work at Hasbro. And, you know, since then, I think he went with Fox later on down the road or something like that. Anyway, so I ended up getting a lot of material and a lot of the production scale chart art to the old cartoons, right? So you knew how big all the figures were. And when it came to collecting figures, a lot of people in the Transformers community was like, you know, is this figure to scale? Is that figure to scale? Blah, blah, blah. And so there was a lot of debating in the community. And it's like, well, you know, doesn't anybody know how big these characters should be? Because, you know, back in the day when the original cartoon came out, this is why there were so many animation errors in the original cartoon. Okay, here's what it was. Because the toy was so popular, okay, they had to rush these episodes out. It went from script to finished episode, okay, in 3 months.
Wow.
Which is insanely fast. Okay. Keep that in mind, because that's a lot of drawing. Okay. And this is why there's so many animation errors in the cartoon, because 3 months, right? So that's why sometimes some scale is, you know, kind of off and whatnot. But but thanks to Hasbro, I got a lot of the production charts. So I was able to make a very accurate scale chart. I have a contact in Japan, and I got some of the Japanese scale production charts as well, because they never had all these in Japan, right? So this is the whole Japanese series, from Headmasters all the way to Zone and whatnot. So, you know. And as you can tell, yes, Fortress Maximus is the biggest, then Metroplex.
Wow.
That's how huge they are. And I can prove it. All the data I got, and I can prove it. All of it. 100% backed up. So I was wondering where Omega Supreme was, but I found him. Oh, okay, yeah. So I started selling these online, and then I got into like this planetary chart, because I do have a little bit of a chart of the planet size scale from Transformers the movie. I do actually have that information, so I actually know how big Cybertron is compared to Earth, and how big Unicron is compared to Earth and Cybertron, and all that kind of stuff. So I delved in even further. You know, into like a planetary, you know, scale kind of thing, right? So this was kind of fun. I had to kind of add that in, and so then I got into Beast Wars, and this one caused like a whole bunch of controversy on some message boards. It's like, oh no, they're supposed to be like actual robot size, like, you know, like in G1. And it's like, no, but they're not.
No, they even mentioned in Beast Wars how they had a downgrade. Not necessarily downgraded, but a downsize.
Exactly. And there's, you know, a bit of crucial part in the information, because, and I don't want to spoil that for the one that hasn't seen it, but you'll know by the end of season 2 if you happen to watch it. And it puts everything into perspective about how big all the Beast Wars characters are. So, and then, you know, I added Beast Wars 2 and, you know, Beast Machines and Beast Wars Neo. And, you know, I found all that production art thanks to my contact in Japan. and did that, and I mean, because this was fun. And then I went to car robots in Japan, robots in disguise.
Wow.
So and this is what got me back into Transformers, because this was actually a fun series. It really was. So so you have Fortress Maximus, but in Japan he's known as something different, because obviously it's a recolor of the old Fortress Maximus toy. But there was that. And then I did the whole Unicron trilogy as we know it here in North America. So you had a bunch of mini cons in there, and Energon and Cybertron, Galaxy Force, whatever you want to call it. So I got all those scale charts, and it's just so much fun. And then I did animated, and this was actually a fun series. I loved animated because there were so many nod-offs to the original series.
And that's one thing I didn't ask you in the beginning was your thoughts on animated. I actually ended up enjoying it. I wasn't sure at first, but I ended up enjoying the series, and
I loved it. I loved animated. It was so much fun. Man, loved it so much. I wish they would have put out season 4. I would have watched that so bad.
Because some of the story ideas they had for season 4 were pretty good. I mean, believe it or not, Baron and Cash, they were thinking about doing a Mirror episode for Transformers animated.
Oh, that'd be cool.
They've even admitted it was 100% inspired by Mirror from the original series of Star Trek.
Yep, that's right. I got a little bit of those character pictures. I got a few of them, what they would have looked like. Oh yeah, I can.
And when was Transformers animated? Are we
2008?
Yep,
2008. Okay,
that's right. Then I did. This one I actually have to update because. So Transformers live action Bumblebee. So I got to update this for the new movie. So curiously enough, in the new movie, they never made a robot model for Airazor.
Really?
One was not done. So they got one of Rhinox and they have one of Cheetor that I do have, but they never made one of Airazor.
That seems odd.
It does seem odd because you think they would, but apparently not. So, yeah, it's really weird. And then, of course, the Align universe. So you got Transformers Prime, Transformers Go, and then Robots in Disguise, and that's pretty much where it ended. And you guys probably don't know Transformers Go because that takes place actually between Transformers Prime and Robots in Disguise, and it was only released in Japan.
Wow.
Yeah.
The only way you might know about it is if you're part of the Transformers message boards, or you go to different Transformers websites, and TFW 2005, and it's one of the ones I still go to this day.
Yep, I am Grifter Prime at 2005 at TFW 2005. You can see me there. So so if any of you guys want any of these type of scale posters, I sell them $35 US shipped. It's 24 by 36 inches, so it's a big movie poster size that you can slap on the side of your roll. Oh yeah, I make them huge. Huge for you to enjoy.
I hear Pacific there opened up his wallet right now.
Yeah,
he's got one of those.
No, but I think Pacific wants a big discount though, man.
Yeah, probably.
It's a big discount.
$35 a piece, so not for all of them.
Well, no. Actually, guys, I was just gonna.
He's like, nah. He's gonna
fun.
haggle, dude. It's gonna be the bazaar. He's gonna be like, no, I'll give you 10.
I'd buy that for $1.
Oh man, but because with these, I wanted to bring some consistency to the collectors. It's like, okay, because everybody, as you guys know, as collectors of whatever it is that you collect, you want the perfect collection, right? Everything has to be just right. And so this is why I did what I did. And then next thing I know, and this is how I ended up working with Keith over at X Transbots, because I put these originally on TFW 2005 there. And then next thing I know, I get a message from one of the guys from Fans Toys. And then, Keith gives me a little ring-a-ding-ding. And that's how I ended up getting to work for him. And then the rest kind of fell into place, like Zeta Toys, and then what they call Make Toys, but it's actually Japanese. It's Make Toys, and Fans Hobby and stuff like that. So so I know Mo over at Fans Hobby, because I suggested to him like years ago. It's like, you know what? Some people are doing like some Transformer Victory third-party stuff. Some people are doing, the Headmaster stuff. I said, nobody's touched Super God Master Force. Start doing some of those. And so we started doing some of those, with like their version of God Jinrai, Sir Optimus Prime, and and God Bomber, and some of the Headmaster Juniors and stuff like that, because he actually listened and took my suggestion. And I'm not saying that look at me, I did these big things. It has nothing to do with it. It's because I'm a fan.
No.
It's because you're a fan and you gave him the input of what you as a fan and other fans that you see on message boards like TFW 2005 want to see in a masterpiece figure.
Exactly. It's like, do this because guaranteed you're going to corner a market. And because on top of that, it fills everybody's collection with, missing figures, right? Which is also kind of what I wanted, right? It's like, do these figures because, first of all, I want them. But second of all, you're going to make some money because nobody else is doing them. It's like, So, they started doing it. And they're, oh man, Fans Hobby, their Overlord. Oh, I love that figure. It was so good. It was perfection. So, and I'm so happy that they did it. I had that figure. I had to sell it though, but God. But I know that X Transbots, they were doing a Deathsaurus. So, oh yeah.
I'll bring up a picture of Deathsaurus so Baron and Cash have an idea of what the character looks like.
Oh, I will.
Impressive name, just the name itself. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, because he's a kaiju. So I wonder if
he can be my Godzilla.
Exactly. Let me find that picture. Because he transforms into a kaiju. Which is always impressive. There we go. Let us. What's a good picture? Yeah, we'll do that one. Do. Did I do the Pantone work on this yet?
We don't. We need Pudgy. We need some Pudgy elevator music for this.
There we go.
On hold.
Share screen. There we go. This is just a computer render right now. So
wow. Oofta.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool looking.
So beautiful. Oh yeah. Let me go. Okay, hold on. There's one of his chest beasts. So eagle breast, and then there's the lion breast that goes along with it. So that without his chest units, his beast chest units, so he has this big ass scimitar and a shield that goes along with it, and his what was it, Disalive gun. It's supposed to be like this big giant huge cannon with a mace on it. So and that's him in his kaiju mode, or as we like to call it, robot chicken. So
with this, I had to ask a question since I see Killer Rabbit from space. So when you go up to the rabbit, you're like, oh, it's a cutesy thing. It's gonna destroy you, like in Monty Python, right? Is that how that works, Killer Rabbit?
Pretty much, I'm thinking so. Yeah. But this is gonna be a sweet ass figure. So that's from the anime. that I said, you know what? If you can fit this into the toy, Keith, because that scene just looks badass from the Transformers Victory intro, do it. So yeah, I think he went and decided he wanted to do it. So there's that. Yeah, so they all eject kind of like sound waves, chest thing. So that's how it's supposed to look. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, one after the other. So
I like
yeah,
the design of that a lot. That is cool.
He needs to go up against Godzilla.
Yes. So he has this, like I said, he has this big ass sword, this big ass scimitar of a sword. I love it. And yeah, it's gonna have all these faces that you can change. So
wow.
Oh yeah. See, this is the world that I get to be part of, right? Help design and stuff like that. So and these are actual pictures.
And I love it when, whether it's first party Masterpiece Transformers or third party Masterpiece Transformers, when they include different head sculpts that you can actually put on the figure, or different facial expressions that you can put on the figure to just add a little bit more value to it.
Yes, exactly, and that's what's needed, I think. But yeah,
that fun value.
Exactly. You got to have that fun value. So there's the actual Masterpiece Starsaber. And years ago, he had Victory Leo that actually can combine with him. So so you can definitely have that good old Transformers Victory goodness. So
very nice, very nice. And to the Padawana beat, remember the motto around here on PACIFIC414 is
a wizard is never late. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Exactly.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So what else do I have? Then there was some of the box art that I did. I suppose I could show that. I don't know. Maybe.
And while you're showing that, I do want to ask you, what do you see for your channel as far as its growth and potential content that you're going to be covering in the next 6 months to a year from now?
That's a good question. I don't know. Well, I mean, I know what eventually I do want to do with my channel, and obviously that's just keep going with it, obviously. No, because I just part of it is for personal reasons, because I have kids, and I think that we're the main, I suppose you could say, the main demographic of my channel. There are a lot of parents that do listen, right? And I'm kind of dating myself here, us old timers are listening to each other.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
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 No, but the thing is, everybody is listening, right? I don't care if they have kids or not. The thing is, it's about telling about what is going on in society. I mean, I know that there are a lot of, how should I put it, shadowy figures out there that are pulling the strings of society and stuff like that. We all know it, right? One way or another.
Yes.
And again, it's not to constantly talk about, all this bad news that's going on. It's really not. It's shedding a light on it, because I think the main way that you get how should I put it, the general population to go in a certain direction that you want them to go in, right? Hence the reason why we use the term, the sheeple, or the sheep out there, is through not only just news, news channels, because news actually used to report news. It used to be informative rather than saying this is the opinion you must have. But popular media does that as well, and it doesn't matter if it's in comics or movies or in TV and stuff like that.
Like there's some good news out there, like, oh wow, this is a good article, or oh, this is an interesting story. Then there's other stuff. It's like, there's some stupid agenda here. Yeah,
I don't want to constantly focus on like the big popular news about all the time about what's going on with Star Wars and Star Trek, and there's other people that are doing that, right?
Exactly.
Yep, exactly.
And kudos to them. God bless their little batteries for doing that. That's not a problem. I have no problem with people doing that. There's other little things that slip through the cracks, that people should be aware of, but only in the sense that I just want to bring it up maybe every once in a while. Oh, hey, maybe this is something you haven't heard about with a another franchise that you used to like. I mean, because let's face it, we all like Star Wars, or we all like Star Trek, or we like both of them and stuff like that, and that's great. But there are other little things out there that we also did like and whatnot. So I try to cover that. But on top of that, I think most importantly, like I said before, is you have to bring some good news into it as well. You have to, because to constantly be bombarded. See, this is why I had to unplug from I suppose what a lot of people would say, conspiracy theory stuff, right? Because if you're constantly listening to bad news, it really does bring you down, because you start to think there's no hope whatsoever. And people got to have a little bit of light. They got to have a bit of light to just brighten up their day. And so, that's why I'll cover stuff like, for example, with One Piece, or bring out new figures that are coming out, because people have to hold on to something, or what I did a few months ago with Sound of Freedom, about how that just exploded. It beats out Mission Impossible and Indy 5. Like this $14 million production that movie theaters across the United States, and maybe up here in Canada too, trying to squash it, and it beats two major movies. Like, come on, if that is
and it's a movie that is very powerful with the story that it's telling. And it's very important that people should go see it. I've said it multiple times since I've seen that movie,
and it was so good that I did 2 videos on it. People need to hear good news. They need to know that, despite everything that's going on, we are winning in places. And that should be something that we should all really feel good about.
Well, another thing that, Baron and I especially have gushed about since it came out in August was Babylon 5, The Road Home.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell
yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, I watched it recently. It's good. I like it. I like the whole time travel thing. Some of the voices that they got sound just like some of the actors who unfortunately have passed away, and it's good. I don't care what anybody says. It's good.
Lamar did the voice of Franklin, and
Lamar.
It was straight on there.
So good.
Just like the actor who did the voice of Garibaldi. If you didn't know any better, I would have thought that was Jerry Doyle.
I know, right?
Delin was really good too. It was very impressive.
And even if they weren't quite on the exact, or they were close enough that you could still get lost in the story. It wasn't distracting.
Yes. And it really did feel like you came back to Babylon 5. It did.
Oh yeah.
I liked it.
I was home.
Sorry, go ahead.
The road home, literally, it was. I was home.
I won't say that I thought it was great, but go ahead.
And I hope they get it resolved, and I hope we get another animated feature of Babylon 5 is for the Crusade. I want to see them incorporate that into the story.
I want that.
I know.
I want that storyline to be tied up.
Unfortunately, as Jerry Michael Straczynski says, I think the reason why he sat back and said you're not going to see anything about Crusade is legalities with TNT. It's like, screw TNT. Screw you, TNT. Just let it go, because that is a story that needs to be finished.
Well,
whether it's animated or a book or whatever,
I know.
I don't care.
And And the fact that one person was able to basically put a roadblock into Babylon 5 is just for so many years is just crazy to me. Because when I did watch that movie recently with Crit and I think it was Phil,
it was Crit, Phil, myself.
He didn't finish it, but Phil and I finished it, and Mike was there too. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a good movie. I may even buy it on Blu-ray, but yeah, I thought it was a good film. I actually was like, wow, look, a good story about time travel again. Wow. I didn't know it could happen.
But it did.
It did. Yes.
I liked it. I really did like it.
JMS did a great job. And the thing is that he's very talented. People should not I think there's a bit of a snootiness out there. Because like you were saying, Comic Relief, there's a lot other things out there than Star Trek and Star Wars. But a lot of these people have a hard time getting away from it. They think that's the only thing. And it even goes back to the 80s and such where, you couldn't be Star Wars and Star Trek. You had to have one or the other. And I tell you, some of the snootiest people there were, even though I was a huge Star Trek fan, involved in Star Trek fandom, they just looked their nose down anything that wasn't Star Trek, especially Star Wars.
I know.
And that was one of the things about our club. Even though we were a Star Trek club, we incorporated everything. I mean, we Doctor Who, Red Dwarf, even Space 1999, all that stuff. Because you know what? We were all diverse and we loved all this stuff. Even if we didn't like it, we could appreciate that.
Exactly.
And with the time, if you do not like what's going on with Star Wars or Star Trek, come on, go and start watching Babylon 5. I bet you haven't done it.
But
go and do it. Or some of these other shows. Watch Classic Who.
They won't watch it because they're just so stuck in this stuff. They'll watch Indiana Jones. They'll watch stuff that's usually in the mainstream, which is fine, but they won't go back and watch Babylon 5. They'll be like, sorry to throw Paul under the bus. Not sorry. They'll be watch 1-2 episodes and they'll be like, oh, this is boring. It's like you have to let this. This is not, if you want constant action and all this, you'll get the action. Just wait.
Oh, yeah.
Just wait. You'll get it.
Patient.
That's right. You've got it, but it's very hard for them. It's like, I can't do this,
And people aren't patient anymore.
No, they're not.
They're not.
You have to give the story time to be told.
That's right.
Yeah. Right.
That's right. And it's
it's not about zap and running.
No,
it's
not. And you know what? And I will be the one to admit, like for example, with Battlestar Galactica, I was a fan of the old series back in the 70s, right? In the late 70s. And then when the 2005 series came out, it's like, they're gonna redo it again. Okay, I'll take a look, not a problem. And then Starbucks a chick? Like what the hell? And then I thought I was gonna hate this.
Right. And then it turned on, and then you were like, what is this? And how now from what I could tell, you watched the original series, but this one, I think this remake had a more serious tone. I could be wrong about that, but it seemed like that, and I was like, well, that works. And then they have Caprica, and it's like, this adds to it. And that only went on, I think, one season, maybe two.
One season.
Just one season. And I'm like, this is good television, though.
Yeah.
And this connects well with Battlestar Galactica. And I remember this argument I had with a person, the way that ended, I'm like, well, what do you think? They have to find a new planet.
Yep.
Like, I can't wrap my head around that people have a problem with that ending, but whatever. It's fine.
Exactly.
If that's how they feel. But
and that was the thing. I grew to like it because I gave the story a chance to tell it. I would have liked to have seen a Starbuck like the old Starbuck, chopping on a cigar and drinking the booze and hey ladies, how's it going? But you know what? This Starbuck was kind of in a way like the old Starbuck, except she just had a vagina. But you know what?
Right.
It worked. It worked.
It works.
It works because Katie Sackhoff made it work.
Exactly.
She's a badass. She's just a badass. That's just
and she doesn't try to be a badass.
Yes. No, she didn't.
She just is. And the thing was also, I liked this different spin that they put on the Cylons, right? They weren't aliens because I was expecting, it's like, when am I going to see the Cylon alien, right? That has all these robots working for them. It's like, no, we created the Cylons and they turned on us. It's like, okay,
like,
so this
I
is
like
a Terminator
that. Right,
kind of
exactly.
thing.
Yep.
It's like, okay, let's see where this goes. And so, but yeah, I gave it time for the story to tell itself. And yes, it diverged in a few, in quite a few places than the original story. But I liked it because somebody took the chance to kind of tell the same story, but add little twists to it to make it original enough.
Just like with Deep Space Nine, that story took a little while to find its footing. I think DS9 found its footing beginning in season 2. And then it really got to its feet on the ground running going into season 3 and into season 6. I think it lost a few steps in season 7.
It just was so, I don't know, when I first watched Deep Space Nine, I just felt it was like so political. But going back and watching it, it's like I like some of these episodes, but of course I also like Rene Adjoa. What a great actor that man was. And like whatever he does, it just seems like he just puts so much energy and passion into his roles. I just go, man, this guy, and he's got so much range and just, I'm going to probably end up watching more of Deep Space Nine and stuff. I think I stopped at season 2 or something and see if I actually start liking more, but it's just so political and it's so different than growing up and watching TNG. And when I watch Deep Space Nine, I'm like, can I get into this? But then I'm like, I like some of these characters.
Yeah.
So, maybe this will grow on me.
But even with Deep Space Nine being political, I mean, Babylon 5 gets political too, but they do it in such a way where you as the audience member can decide, wait a minute, was Jakar right in this instance? Or was Londo right in this instance?
Right.
Or when it comes to Deep Space Nine, is the Federation right? Or are the Bajorans right? Or are the Cardassians right?
Well, the politics was about ideals and thoughts, not Republican, Democrat, Independent.
Yeah, right.
Labor,
I get that.
I know that, Baron.
It doesn't matter. Well, that's why I'm just sitting back saying, when it comes around to the politics, some people don't understand that. And that's what's important. You're not going out there to become a apologist or a prophet for a particular political party, but you're out there to be basically promoting thinking, and that's what today's people don't have. They don't have that. That's why they can't sit through. They're too busy wanting to rush to the end where the excitement is, and not realizing that this is all a build up to that. And now you're going to lose so much of why this is going on.
They'd rather just read the end of the book by going to the back page instead of going through the whole story from the first page to the last.
Yep. I'm a person who loves background, and it bothers me when we change these things. I mean, even the Magnum PI, just the fact that Higgins is now a woman and that Higgins may also be pregnant with Magnum. It's so stupid to me.
It's so bad.
You hear this stuff and you're like, they didn't really do this, right? This is ridiculous. Like, because the original Magnum show is so much fun, but there are serious moments too, and you're like, wow, Magnum really went through this, and the building of things happen and things that happen to his friends and the way he feels about his family. It's just like, my gosh, man, like it's just like watching the original Quantum Leap, and they just don't have the same passion that they want to remake. Yet with Hawaii Five-0, they added more background to the characters. They changed some things, but it's like, wow, this is like some serious shit here. This is pretty amazing. Well, okay, guys, right? Yeah.
Well, it was like watching that preview for the Quantum Leap just the other day, and the wife and I are watching it. And it's like, wait a moment. You're all over the place. This is only supposed to be within a lifetime of the character. You're not supposed to be going back to the witch trials. You're not supposed to be going forward into the future.
Right.
This is about within your lifetime and going through those events. Which a new Quantum Leap would do a good job on that if they stayed that way, because now you're moving the age up a bit So now you're going into a time period that, of course, Sam Beckett couldn't go to because, of when the show was supposed to take place. Now you got that open area of the 90s and the 2000s and 2010s.
Right.
And everything to where this guy was supposed to be born. If he was supposed to be born in the 90s or even the 80s, all that can be all incorporated. You should have a lot of material there, but
no, they want to check certain boxes and stuff. And we don't even get shows anymore like Boston Legal and how amazing that show was, or even NYPD Blue and the situations and the storylines that they had in that. It's like, wow, dude, they are really going pretty deep in this for a network show. It's just there, and there's stuff with like Bob Odenkirk that recently came out. Oh my gosh, Lucky Hank, is it? I think, yeah. And that was pretty interesting. And it was interesting too, like they were showing this like woke kid, and it's like, yeah, exactly. That is a kid that you would actually find at a college who's driving the professor crazy. But it's funny because Odenkirk's character actually throws the school under the bus, and then there's all these consequences because that's what would probably happen. It's like this college is kind of crappy, and it's like, oh no, when the dean gets a hold of that, or the president, it's like, oh no, this is gonna go bad. But it was just his personality, and when Odenkirk is leading a show, just like Better Call Saul, it's like this is something you probably want to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh man.
There's still some stuff out there, but now with the tentative writers agreement for 3 years, and after 1 year they're probably like, we deserve this. I can see that happening.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. 10 writers now on a show or a movie or whatever it is. It's insanity. That's insanity to me.
Yeah.
That's just asking for trouble. It really is. 5 writers, maybe 3, 4, something like that. Or 1 writer, like Babylon 5, pretty much. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that just is.
So if they're really,
this writer's strike is going to give us nothing but garbage now. It's put fork in the folks.
Huge.
Even with some of this negative entertainment that is out there, let's not act like it's not.
Right.
Comic, is there anything that you're looking forward to that's coming out in the future?
That's a good question.
Ooh, yeah. I gotta think about that. Maybe. Oh boy. Maybe Deadpool 3. I don't know.
I want that to actually be so freaking good, man. You got Hugh Jackman back, and I don't care what, he's kind of a nutcase and stuff. I think he's probably a pretty cool guy. I would hope so, but he's coming back as Wolverine. You guys got to do this right, man. Make this better than 2, please. 2 was pretty good overall, especially the conversations with Cable and Deadpool. But that kid with powers, I just am like, please no. just throw that kid in something. Yeah. But but that whole thing with his group and everybody dies except one person. I think it was Domino or something, if I remember. It was the only one who survived, and it was like, yeah, dude, we're gonna go hell. Oh no, I'm dead. And then the other guy's like, I laughed so hard at that. That was just too funny. But
I think because this new season of Loki is going to lead into Deadpool 3. Okay. So that's what they're alluding at. That's what they're saying. So because we got this whole stupid multiverse thing going on, right? So
they're
a lot
obsessed
of people
with that, man.
They are, but the thing is, because now that Disney owns Fox, right? Remember that,
right?
For now,
they have to incorporate the mutants somehow into Marvel Universe 1999999. So now that you have this whole multiverse thing going on, they're going to use that to introduce the rest of the Marvel Universe into this mainstream MCU. But also on top of that, what they're going to also do, what a lot of people suspect, is they're going to bring back, like, say, Captain America and Iron Man, but they're going to be other people playing them. so they can keep the franchise going and mix it up a little bit, like the whole kind of Secret Wars kind of thing, weird thing.
I didn't watch that. I heard bad things about it.
Oh God, it was so bad.
I haven't watched that. I did watch all of Moon Knight, which turned into Layla Knight. That was something. That was, and then reading about the lore later on about Moon Knight, I'm like, this guy actually beat Deadpool in a fight.
Yeah,
and you guys turn him into this? Come on.
Yeah.
They had some good ideas.
What Jason says, the main universe in MCU is now called 616 because Doctor Strange. Yeah, you know what? I think they definitely made a mistake on that one because it's not, because it is well known that the comic universe is 616. So they fudged that one up really bad. Really, really bad.
Dude, Fury is such a great character, and I don't know, I might watch this show sometime, I'm not sure, but some people already told me don't watch this show if you like Fury. I just started laughing.
The big problem with Disney, and it's not just the Marvel, but it's also with the Star Wars, they can't write something unless they have to tie it to something else. So it's like if you just want to have a nice little standalone story, yes, it's in the universe, but it's not tied to a significant event. They're unable to do that. They don't have the creativity, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the talent. It's like, how can we keep stringing along? And
they don't seem. Go ahead.
No.
No, go ahead. Because
I was done, basically. That was my little rant. Me sitting in my throne, that was my rant.
I don't know what. I don't know what I'm looking forward to now, to be honest. I really honestly don't. I know that there's another Ghostbusters movie in the works. So, maybe Dune 2. I definitely do want to see Dune 2.
Yeah, I think
because that got delayed now.
Has a lot of potential. Yeah.
Yes. Because there's looking at a third Dune movie after this. So I definitely want to see the second Dune movie. That's for sure.
Have you seen the trailer for Godzilla -1?
Yes. I love me some Japanese Godzilla.
Dude, if you want to have a conversation about Godzilla, you got to talk to Crit Everest Productions. You'll he's the biggest Godzilla fan that I think I've ever known.
But there's some rumors going around that they're going to make the Japanese military look like the bad guys. So I don't know if that's true or not. But I mean, come on, how else are you going to respond to a big giant humongous lizard stomping on your city? Come on, you're gonna have to bring the military out. So, whatever.
It's okay, big giant lizard. Go ahead and stop on that building over there.
That's right.
It's okay. We'll just rebuild.
Try. You really want to call the Americans?
We're cool though, right? We're cool. Like, we understand you got to stomp on our buildings. Just please try not to kill our citizens. That's okay.
I mean, how many times did the Japanese military send their little toy tanks out to try to shoot down Godzilla? I mean, and their little toy planes.
It didn't work out very well.
No. So, I mean, of course they're going to go after Godzilla because he's smashing Tokyo.
Yeah.
He is basically the epitome or an imagery of the United States, what they did to him, the nuclear war and all that, and stomping them down. I mean, of course.
Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. God, let's see what else is coming up. Oh, you know what? This is gonna sound really twisted in a way.
Okay.
Okay. Remember that Whoopi Goldberg comic that's supposed to be coming out, The Change?
Oh no!
Yeah.
About it,
where she gets her superpowers because of menopause.
I remember hearing about that.
Was that the Amelia? No, okay, that wasn't the Amelia.
No, that wasn't. No, this is Whoopi Goldberg. Okay, go watch the video on my channel. It's hilarious. Okay, I'm waiting for that comic to come out because there. Who was it? Pops. I think he said he wanted to get together and actually do a reading of the comic live on his channel.
Oh no!
Just like I am not Starfire. Like people were reading that and laughing at that. Like they just bought it to mock it. Yeah.
I
Right.
just yes,
I am dumpster
still want to
fire.
do that. Yes.
I am dumpster fire. That's
I so want to do that. I will buy the book. I'll look for it on download somewhere because I'm not going to spend my money on that kind of trash. I'll download it for free. I mean, yes, and I will admit that. So,
YouTube, he's actually going to buy it. Don't worry about it.
Right. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
Penny's your aunt.
Yeah.
What else? I'm trying to think of what else that's coming out. Let's see. Aquaman 2. Yeah, I don't know about that.
There we go.
Well, is it going to have more random explosions? Hey, here's a scene. Oh, random explosion! It's great, man. It's like I forgot about the movie because of the freaking random explosion. What happened in the first Aquaman? Oh, random explosion!
Exactly.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah.
It's like like explosions. You know.
It's going to be explosions and turds in beds. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, Aquaman was good." I'm like, "Was it? I guess." But then the random explosion. Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know what your thoughts are on Band of Brothers or the Pacific, but supposedly in January we're getting the third entry into that trilogy by Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg called Masters of the Air.
Oh, nice.
Oh, my.
I think I might have to check that out.
Speaking of Steven Spielberg, the Fablemans, the movie that's based on his life, was actually quite enjoyable. If you guys are still fans of his, then I definitely check that movie out.
I'll give it a watch. Sure, I mean, why not? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What what else am I looking forward to?
That's a hard question, really.
Kind of, but She-Hulk season 2.
Oh man, season 2. Is there going to be?
I want to see how bad this is going to be,
dude. That is just. I watched 1 or 2 episodes of that, and I'm like, now wait a second. She starts collapsing when she starts turning back into She-Hulk. What in the hell is this? And then there's queef jokes too, and there's like, oh, did you hear it went to the bathroom? Then I'm just like, okay, and then there's twerking too. Okay, twerking, whatever you think about, but in the She-Hulk show, and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't watch the rest of this. It's just like I watch Home Alone Hawkeye, as I like to call it, all the Christmas stuff, and it's like, no, I watch one episode, I'm like, no, I'm not liking where this is going.
You didn't like the walk of shame that Daredevil had?
I didn't get to that point. I did watch some clips of that, but no, I didn't really.
I don't know if it was really a walk of shame though, because
his pelvis was crushed.
You had
I mean, come on, man.
I am worried.
She's a Hulk, and could you really satisfy her? Probably not.
Nah.
Well, it's just like the bobblehead
wink,
that he had on there, and I'm like, oh gosh, this has Kevin Feige's stink all over this show for sure. And I know, like, the way it ended, I don't know how it can get a second season because it just looks like it is. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, here's one
no.
that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I thought that would have been Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
You know what? Yes. Here's something that I'm looking forward to. Hayao Miyazaki. Okay, he's not retiring yet, and he wants to do another film. So, you know, because anything Miyazaki does is just gold, right? So I am looking forward to seeing his next movie. I do want to see that because
is he the one who does? He's not the one who did that movie Castle in the Sky, is he?
Oh yeah,
the same guy. I'm thinking,
he did Porco Rosso. He did Ponyo. He did Laputa. Yeah, Castle in the Sky. Spirited Away. I mean,
I gotta watch Spirited Away. I heard great things about that.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I mean, he's done so many.
It kind of Oh, sorry. It was kind of funny because the wife and I watch these, walking through the streets videos, and particularly Asia. And we found one for, I believe it was Saigon or Hanoi. But they're walking along and they're showing it, and there's a big Studio Ghibli thing that
Studio Ghibli, yes, their animation for their games, Ni no Kuni. I'm just like, I still like, it's impressive.
But it throws you off because this is in Vietnam. It's like, wow, talk about reach. You wouldn't think something like that in Vietnam, but there it is.
True. Plus they got like essentially a Miyazaki Park in Japan as well. So that one can go visit and have fun and stuff like that. So it looks pretty cool. Looks really good. What else am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to first of all, getting my book from Raymond, the third book, because that's coming pretty soon. And on Tuesday, I'm looking forward to getting my book from Al Nickerson.
Oh, nice.
His oh God, I'm trying to think what the book is called again. Crap. That's really shameful. I totally forgot what his book is called, and I really shouldn't forget what his book is called because he's sending it to me. Plus apparently some extra little tidbits that he's sending. It should be here by this Tuesday after Thanksgiving. So it was really, really nice of him to send that stuff. So and doing doing that interview with them a few weeks ago, that was a blast. That was fun. Sword of Eden, that's right, that's what the book is called. Go check that out. It's his own independent book. So he used to work over at Marvel and DC and MTV and Nickelodeon and stuff like that.
I think I've heard of that.
No, really, really nice guy, really awesome guy. He was teaching at a university like recently, essentially, because he trained with Will Eisner at the Will Eisner School.
There we go.
Yeah. So he really knows his stuff. And so apparently this university hired him, wanted to essentially teach art at their university. And and apparently because he has, let's say, not the right political mindset. And on top of that, because and on top of that, because he's a Christian, on top of that, it was okay for it was okay for
what the hell you say?
All right. But it was okay for people that say were into Wicca or of the left-leaning mindset to voice their opinion and post things up on the board. When it came to him, no, you can't have that happen. And so what they did, they didn't fire him. Okay, they didn't fire him. They just made him basically unavailable him to work.
Basically like Cassell.
They kind of disappeared him. Even though he wasn't fired, he's still employed. He hasn't gotten a paycheck, but basically he's like, nobody wants to take your classes. It's like, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. So his stuff was removed from his office. He doesn't know where it is. All that stuff. It's then even before that, he started not getting his royalties from DC Comics for money that was owed to him. And apparently seeing how I was reporting this, and again, it's not about, ooh, look what I did. It's not that whatsoever. But the word was starting to get out, and I asked him if I can report this on his behalf, and he's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So when people started making a stink and finding out about this, they probably did take a stapler, his red stapler. Yeah, his red stapler.
Deeply.
So, it's my stapler.
Well, he's gotta go. Tell him to go down to the storage room. Maybe that's
yeah.
That all of a
I'm
sudden
gonna need you to move to
were-
the basement.
yeah. And all of a sudden his checks started showing up. So you know. And don't forget those TPS reports. So
Yeah, you gotta get those done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have
do
to.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
He parks in the
case, it's like,
handicap spot.
if you could,
You're such a douche.
it's like,
BC low letter. What the fuck does that mean?
I know.
We have like 10 bosses. Oh, your name is Michael Bolton? You like the singer?
Yeah. Love it.
But Michael's a great name. It was a great name until that no talent hack.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That is literally like me. So it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. So
you're not the dude. You're like the Crusader, or you're the Relief. I'm the
yeah,
Relief, man.
exactly. Yeah, man. Like, okay, I'm just here. So, I don't know if there's really anything else I'm looking forward to because everything is pretty much dead. Really,
It's
you know?
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I mean, about Dune Part 2. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that. I'm sorry it got pushed back, but it's like, ooh, anticipation some more. I honestly, I don't know what the hell's coming out for television. I'll see a lot of stuff for advertisements, and they suck. You know, just
Listen to this guy, dude. Dragon lives don't matter. Screw you, Paul.
Whatever. Like
Wow.
whatever.
Wow, gosh. Oh boy.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Brick killed a guy. Yeah.
If you've got an issue, here's a tissue.
That's right.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
Well, you're an asshole. Yeah.
And pardon my French. Au revoir.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but next weekend on Saturday. Oh boy, I suspect some people are really gonna hate me. So oh yeah, because here in town, huh?
What do you mean start?
Well, you know, in this town at least.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. At in the town that I'm at here in the Texas of Canada, which we call Alberta, which I proudly do. Yeah, in our town they're going to have their very first Comic Con. Okay.
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes. You see where I'm going with this. So hopefully you do. So you know they're inviting a bunch of panelists, you know, and you know, a bunch of comic artists, I guess, and you know, for people to sell stuff, the same old, right? So of course, you know, you had an option. You know, do you want to be a panelist or do you want to just have a table and sell stuff? Well, it's like, well, really, I don't have anything to sell yet, okay, because I'm working on that. But I'm going to be promoting, Al Nickerson's book, Sword of Eden, because he did come on my show. We did do an interview. So, to help the guy out. Plus, on top of that, Raymond Feliciano, because, we're going to be doing a prequel comic. So his book hopefully arrives here in time because I want to display all 3 books. And on top of that, the character designs that I showed earlier, I'm going to be pinning those up. Right.
Okay.
So, just to say, hey, this is something that we got planned here that's going on. So, but in the meantime, please check out his books and please check out this guy's books and stuff like that, because I'd like to try to support people, because we've all been there. We've all been the little guy. And I'm not saying I'm huge or anything like that. Or I should have said, I'm not saying I'm huge.
You're not huge.
I'm not a huge deal right now. Not even breaking 1,000 yet, but it's getting there slowly but surely.
You're close. You're close.
To quote a phrase from Airplane, and Leon's getting larger.
It's
larger.
It's not the size of the army, but it's
don't call
the
me
fury
Shirley.
of the attack. That's what it is. The fury of the attack. That's what it is.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Yeah,
you beat me to it, Barrett. You beat me to it.
Hey, Timmy, how do you feel about gladiators? Have you ever seen a grown man?
Awesome with their loincloth. So, but no, I want to try to help people along the way, right? Because that's how we build as a community and make our voices larger. That's kind of the way it should work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
A tit for a tat kind of thing. Yeah, so I'm doing that. I hope you don't mind. I'm simultaneously broadcasting, so everybody gets a
No,
view.
it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I want people to go to you as well. That's why I'm simultaneously broadcasting.
That's why I enabled it in case people do want to broadcast it on their channel. It's like, go ahead, ahead.
Well, then I did,
more the merrier.
Yeah. Do you think, Comic, that this convention is not going to have any pandering in there, because that unfortunately has been happening now the last few years? If it's not TwitchCon, if it's a Comic Con, it's just some of the panelists, and you're just like, look, I guess people can invite other people, but I'm sure these other panelists who believe this, you wouldn't invite them, would you? And I just go, it's such a hypocrisy. It really
is. And this is why I'm saying that probably a lot of people gonna hate me, because when I got the information, okay, like, oh, here's the setup and blah blah blah, and of course on the bottom of the email, the lady at the local library that's putting it on, at the bottom, because they add kind of like a little digital business card kind of thing at the bottom underneath the numbers were the pronouns she, her, right? So I'm like, oh, I can see where this is going to be, where this is heading, or what this is going to be like now. Oh my, who would have thought of that?
Right, exactly.
So,
well, hopefully nobody would come up to the convention. You know what? It's like, no, shut up, go away.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoo. Don't pull out your phone also and try to make me look like a jackass either. Because then I'm like, oops, where'd that phone go? I don't know.
Yep.
Because I can make a jackass myself without a phone.
Exactly.
That's right, Baron.
I don't do things half-assed. I use my whole ass, damn it. So, but no, I'm planning on simultaneous, broadcasting also at this con. So
nice.
and yeah, so they asked me, if you do want to speak, do you want to speak for a half an hour, or do you want to speak for an hour, right? And I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be a little bit different because this is going to be like in front of people, right? I mean, it's different when you're on YouTube. Because even though I can hear you guys, and I can see you guys, and I'm talking to an audience, right now, because we got a bunch of people watching on Rumble and on YouTube, and and to everybody in the chat, go over to Rumble because you got a lot more free speech over there.
And you only need, what is it now, 6 followers, so.
It was 25 at one point.
I guess they decided to change it right now. Rumble, especially how they feel about, they've been offending. Well, I don't want to go into details, but they've been defending a certain person, and it's just like, well, Rumble seems so far that they really want more freedom of speech. So.
Yep. I mean, our last edition of Pop Talk, where we, did the 2 hours here on YouTube and Rumble, then we moved over to Rumble. Usually it's Cash and I who start going off on things that are bugging us. The last one, it was Baron.
It was, man. Baron went all out.
Yeah,
dude. He unleashed the fury like Mitch from Road Trip. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm going to do at this convention, when it's my turn to talk, I'm just going to start out slow, but I'm going to ask everyone that just happens to be listening at the time. So does everybody have a phone? And hopefully there are going to be some people that raise up there. Okay, does anybody have YouTube on their phone right now? It's like, okay, great. I want you to go to this place on YouTube and just find me. I am the Comic Relief Crusader. And there we're going to see, how many people are going to like the message. I'm going to use it kind of as a metric here, right? How many people will just, okay, yeah, sure, I'll subscribe. But on top of that, after I have my say, whatever it is I'm going to say, because, usually I'm kind of like an on-the-fly kind of guy like that, right? I will get into, why I'm getting into comics and why, movies, blah, 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 kind of like here. But, but I will have my say about, yes, what is going on in the industry, what is going on with, gender swapping, sex swapping, race swapping, that's going on in the industry, because this is what's making everything suffer. And, but like I said, when I got that notification back, that email back from this lady, and on the bottom it says she, her, I'm like, all right, because you're putting yourself out there in a town where by now, because I've lived here for quite a few years now, where essentially everybody knows your name, kind of thing, right? So later, John, thanks for stopping on by, dude. I really appreciate it.
Yep. Yeah, thank you, my super wrench. He's my super wrench.
Later, John.
Right.
Good to see you, brother.
So I want to use this as a metric as to, okay, who's on one side and who's on the other, who's going to, who's going to be, the type of people that really want to protect those rights or those things that we hold dear, and who's not. And
who's going to jump to conclusions after they watch a few live streams or videos?
Are they going to yell at you when you say
this, that, and the other?
This is horrible.
Hearing you out.
This guy is
now
awful.
We need you to be quiet now. Yeah, we're gonna.
Can you be quiet now?
Yeah,
we're bringing in security. What did this man say? I'm offended. I hate this guy. This guy's an asshole. Yeah,
Mr. Relief Crusader, I'm Baron. My pronouns are beep, bop, and boop. I've got a question, but it's going to sound more like a statement that you're an asshole because
Baron, wrong picture. Wrong profile picture.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Thank you so much. There we go. Yeah, I just want to say that it's a question, but it's going to sound like a statement that that you're an esthenophobe, and how can you live with yourself, and especially up here in Canada because Canada's so great. And,
how can you say these things? It's horrible.
How can you say these hurtful things?
They hurt my feelings.
Yeah. Well, I don't care about your feelings. I care about the facts.
Exactly.
And if you don't like it, exit stage left.
No, not facts.
What did you say? Did you guys hear this? Call security.
Yeah.
Call security. This guy is too much. No, sir. It's too much. It's too much for me.
Exactly.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Yeah. And then they'll be like, "What's that clip from? I've never watched that movie.
I don't know what
in my life.
God.
No.
Someone's optimistic. Two white guys. Oh God. And they know how to use technology. That should be Asian.
Diversity in this movie. Come on, what is going on? Like, come on.
Oh my God!
That was appropriation because the DeLorean. You have a French alien that came from Ireland.
This thing offends me. Oh my gosh! Like,
oh my God! Give me my Hakaluki cappuccino.
We need to change people like the Grinch and stuff. Like we've got to make him like misremember or he can't be a villain anymore. Like that's ridiculous.
How about new?
That's right, exactly. Oh my gosh!
But no,
misunderstood. That's the thing that I do not. One of the trends I really hate comic is these villains now that they have to be misunderstood.
Yeah.
No.
God.
Villains aren't
Like,
villains.
no, how about just plain evil?
Yes, it's
give me
okay
plain
if they're evil now.
My name's Megatron. I'm misunderstood. See, I wanted to help Cybertron, not take it over, not conquer the universe.
Yes.
Did you see that one comic that somebody made where Megatron goes woke? I laughed so hard. Have you seen
Oh,
that?
yeah.
It's on
my God.
YouTube.
Megatron.
It even starts. It's like, what the hell?
Oh God.
I mean, when you're up there, be prepared, Comic Relief Crusader.
That's
when you
right.
get these little NIMS up there,
yes.
be prepared to
Oh,
do
yes.
this. You need to do this.
Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass?
And see, remember, comic, just if you're going to beat up the car, just make sure it's the right one. You know.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the shitty Volkswagen out there. You know.
Yes.
I would say the 87 Yugo, but I don't think there's any around anymore.
I don't know. You never know. The universe is full of surprises.
You got it. Yeah.
Oh, it really is. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. But no, I figure, because I was debating it heavily about, should I do this? Should I really put myself out like that, in a town? Because, my wife and I, we have this shop, right? And I do my graphic design. She does photography. And, part of you is thinking, if I put myself out like this, in a town and say, this is what I believe in, then, this could tank for us, but without risk, sometimes there's no reward.
True.
And on top of that, you might find that there are more people that are actually on your side, that believe in the same things that you do, than not.
Look,
So,
yep. And if they don't believe comic, then you just turn on the share song of Believe. That I think came out in '99. Start playing that.
Yep. Oh, because what was it? A few days ago, my wife went to the library. She was getting some copies done, for something, and she said, because I was at job number 2. She goes, "You wouldn't believe the books that they have in the front at the library, right?" Sure. And I'm like, "Oh, really?" So one of the books was I'm trying to think now. I remember one of the books, but there were 2 books, and I'm trying to remember what the second book is. But one of the books was a book on white supremacy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. And I'm trying to remember what the second book was, and I can't quite remember. But it's like, oh, this is so this is really the kind of people that we're dealing with.
I'm waiting.
This on.
I'm waiting for the book. Little Timmy doesn't know who he is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been noticing all across the Twitter sphere and the fake book sphere, the banned books. They're out there. Oh, I'm reading banned books, and they're doing it like mugshots. They're holding the books. It's like, oh, that's just wonderful. Are you including my struggle? Well, that's English, of course. Exactly. Are you including that? Is that going to be part of your banned book thing? Read a banned book? Oh no, we can't do that. We can't. Then you're hypocrites.
Yeah. Yep.
You're hypocrites. I mean, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that. Yeah, I'm not saying you should read it unless you're interested in history or understanding stuff. But still, how many people have that? Let's put that in the school library. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean,
this library is attached. And this library is attached to an elementary school.
I can imagine that there's certain books in there that are not appropriate for elementary school.
I've already seen it like a couple of years ago. There are.
Yeah.
And see, that's just it. When we come to sit back and start talking about politics, it's not Democrat, Republican, Labor, Tory, anything like that, because in our group, in our circles, we have everybody of all, what do you say, those type of political ilk.
Right.
I mean, you have Gary Cassell, who's right-leaning. You have Keith, who is left-leaning. Great guys. Doesn't mean we hate them for that, right?
No.
It has more of that quote-unquote diversity. But the thing is our love, what the politics comes down to is we don't want to have stuff that's going out there and being propaganda and forced down people's throat. We believe in people thinking, and that there's certain times that you bring things up. I mean, what was great about the Warner Brother cartoons? They're made for adults, but yet kids could enjoy it because it went across all spectrums, right?
Dude, we even have.
And here's the thing: when I started doing Pop Talk 2 years ago, I didn't want to regurgitate everything that everyone else was regurgitating,
right?
And give the same opinion that everyone else was giving. I wanted to give my own opinion on it.
How dare you?
I think differently.
Oh no! How terrible!
What?
Comic
Relief different, like Apple.
You're so brave.
Baron's a drone.
I am the drone. I'm a Disney show.
He's brave and progressive.
Exactly.
I'm brave and progressive. Like, the best Star Trek out there is Star Trek Discovery. It's a shame. I don't understand why they're bringing it to an. Oh, sorry.
No,
Sorry. I forgot to do something.
It's just sad because. There you go. See, that Baron wants everybody to be as miserable as he is. So
exactly.
Well, the new Star Trek is far better than the other Star Trek. They understand things more.
My goodness!
And this is what I have to say to SJW Orman Tagge.
He said, "Today is a good day to die."
Yes,
I can only stay that way for so long.
Man, but no, I really think that a lot of people who have turned in this cults or different groups, whatever, it could be people on this woke side or not woke side, they just want people to feel as miserable as they do, and that's horrible. It really is. It's just like there's so much more to this. Like, I even think something like Star Wars, if people didn't have that in their life, certain people, I feel like they might fall apart.
Yeah,
which is really sad to think.
Listen, Cash, I got enough misery as a Cub fan. I don't need that anymore.
I know, dude.
I think that's the thing. The people today are becoming what we were being accused of in the 80s.
Right.
That we could live without this. If this was somehow taking our lives, that we'd be jumping off of bridges. Like, unfortunately, that one kid did in 1968 in St. Paul when Battlestar Galactica. But we're looking at the fact that this kid had other issues involved with it also. And that's where you look at it, that, when you hear about these stories where someone did do something, whether it's with D&D, Star, Battlestar Galactica, whatever, it was a very rare occasion, and this person had some, unfortunately, psychological problems.
Right.
But it was such a rarity.
And please...
9%. Now it's the other way around. I would say you got 70% out there because they're walking around like little cultists.
Yeah.
Right. And this whole situation where people come out like that PBS NewsHour article that Baron just ripped to shreds for good reason. This whole situation where you're playing a game and you're not allowed if you're a woman, or you're this, and there was a lot of white people playing this. Oh my gosh. Like, they're so fixated on this. And I understand you can get fixated on certain things, but I don't remember even growing up in the 80s and the 90s. I was like, hey, you get out of here. And this whole push from either celebrities and other ignorant people, because they say these ignorant things all the time. It's like, I didn't ever see that. Well, this happened. Maybe it happened to you. And if it did, that person's an idiot. But there's a lot of ignorance in the world, and there always has been. Yeah. And I think it's gotten worse because of social media and things like that, where it's just like, oh, I need this machine in my life and stuff. And we then get dependent on our machines. But I just don't understand with this whole issue about how people weren't welcomed into these groups. That's usually a bunch of bull crap.
Well, usually the jackasses we didn't like.
Right. True. Exactly.
They always do.
Yep.
Right.
And
the
now
people who are going to come in there
have,
and cause problems because they want to, right? Yes.
Yeah.
But when it comes around to it, the press has never been a fan, or I hesitate to say this word, ally, to those of us within this genre, even going back to the 80s, whenever they wanted to do, because I know this for a fact, because dealing with the press, being part of Star Trek fan clubs and various stuff. The one thing when I got the camera shoved in my face, they're trying to, and other members of people that we had from other groups and such, is to try to make us look like a bunch of goofy idiots and oddballs.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we have people in here who are, all the way across the board, from just working in a warehouse, a farmer. We have people who are authors. We have people who, we're talking about, there was Bain Books authors. We have people that are even in the medical, they have a PhD on their name. This is escapism. But of course, that's how they project upon us. And I hate to say, that's what they turned into, a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I still blame Big Bang. Yeah, Big Bang was great in the beginning, but as the show went along and became as stupid as it was, you got the normies. And I said normies that to say, hey, look, I like Big Bang Theory, so I'm a fan. And you sit down and press them on stuff. They don't know jack shit.
No, they don't. But
it's like,
there's things.
Have you
There's
watched
things you can. There's things you can like about the Big Bang, but there's also, they ran into problems too. Their monologues weren't as good for Sheldon. There were certain episodes, especially the later seasons, that just weren't that well written. They went also away from more of the geek culture, which I think was a huge mistake. But I think there's a lot you can find with Big Bang. But if you're going to come out, like Baron just said, and say, oh, I know a lot about nerd culture because I watched the Big Bang, that's really ignorant.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I didn't know a lot of people were doing that, Baron. That's horrible.
Well, that's a lot of it is. I mean, honestly, you take a look at it. Now it's a fad. It's trendy. It's trendy. We became trendy, and I don't want to be trendy.
Yeah.
No,
I've never wanted to be part of the latest fad, the latest trend. I want to just be my own person.
Exactly.
Right. And it's
Sometimes
brought down. We have.
Sometimes it's not bad flying under the radar, and then when you do, everybody sees, and it's like, that's not bad.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
And it's not that we don't want anybody to come in. It's not that we don't want anybody to come in and enjoy this stuff when we say this. It's no, we want you to come in for the right reason, because you do enjoy it. We don't want you coming in here and going, okay, I'm in here now, change everything to what I want, which is what we have now.
Yeah.
That's why gatekeeping is not bad. If gatekeeping is proper, you keep those morons out. But if they want to come and truly enjoy what you have, come on in.
Yeah. Appreciate what came before, with Lucas's vision of Star Wars, or Gene Roddenberry's vision of Star Trek, or the early days of Doctor Who. Appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah.
Even later Doctor Who, I think I think it was Honest Trailers did they talked about how crazy and weird it is, and like, did a lot of these writers do drugs? It's like, I don't know, but it was still fun for a lot of people. But the way it turned into with the woman, which I can't think of her name now, and they started going in this political direction with stuff, was like, no.
Yeah.
Whittaker, right? Yeah, Jodie Whittaker.
Jodie Whittaker.
Jodie Whittaker. Oh God.
Yeah.
Well,
she got that job because of a friend of hers or whatever.
David Tennant was her friend.
It's not who you know, it's who you know. Just saying.
It's not who you know, it's who you knob. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. It's not who you hob, it's who you knob.
It's just, it's like anything either. Like, if Disney wanted to actually do something that could be pretty amazing, you hire those writers again who worked on those Marvel shows. That's what you do. You hire them. You hire all of them.
You keep the quality.
That's right.
Yep.
And gentlemen, it is time to start winding down on this episode of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk. So to Comic Relief Crusader. Please take this time to promote yourself. What do you have coming up? Live streams, videos, shorts.
Well, okay. As obviously we've been talking for the past almost 3.5 hours. Dang, bro.
Time's fun when you're having flies.
I know, right? For all of you guys in the chat, yes, you see the links in the chat there. Please click on it. It helps us all out. Plus, on top of that, I got a Rumble channel. And like we mentioned before, because Rumble is pro-free speech, and on top of that, it's Canadian as well. So it stands for something at least good that's left in Canada. And
I told you the Canadians are taking over.
Exactly. And because they gave the middle finger to England and France on top of that, at least, hopefully for now, that you can at least rely on the free speech over at Rumble. Please check me out over on Rumble. It really would help us all out as we have free speech, as it were, on that channel more than on YouTube. But if you want to stick on YouTube, please check my channel out over there at the Comic Relief Crusader, where we talk about every kind of geekiness under the sun, because I'll include comic books and TVs and movies and, well, as you saw earlier, if you've been paying attention long enough, action figures as well, because I work for X-Transbots. So all kinds of geekiness over there. So I just don't bring the bad news about what's going on in pop culture, but I also try to bring in some good news as well. Because you can't listen constant bad stuff all the time. It just wears down on you.
No, you need that palate cleanser.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I try to do on live shows, whether it's on a Titillating Tuesday, which is at 1 o'clock Mountain Time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. I always have to constantly remind myself of the time zones because, yeah. So, and that goes for same times on Titillating Tuesday and on a Frantic Friday, where we try to end the week off with a good laugh. So what we do on the live shows, we start off with stupid news of the week, where I'll pick 2 news articles that's out there, and we just get a good laugh out of it. And if you watch the previous shows on top of that, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You will get a good laugh. And then, to break up the monotony, after chit-chatting for about an hour, we'll just have a brief commercial break of something totally weird and outrageous. So, and on a Frantic Friday, we did the same thing, but before we end off the show, we try to end things off with something hilarious that you can laugh at. Seriously, I won't divulge. See, I can't even talk right now. I won't divulge any further. You'll have to check it out for yourself and see exactly what I mean, and check out a previous show so you find out. So as we're marching towards 1,000 subscribers, getting there slowly but surely, what I'm going to do, because what I've done for 250 subscribers, what I've done at 500 subscribers, and what I've done for 750 subscribers is I'll have a little giveaway, okay? Where I give something away out of my own personal collection, okay? Like a Masterpiece Transformer, for example, okay? So as we're getting closer to monetization, or whether I had 1,000 subscribers, whichever one it's going to be, we're going to have a giveaway. And this time I'm going to make things a little different, okay? Because usually I would have like a spin the wheel kind of thing, and whatever name it lands on, oop, there goes the prize, right? This time I'm going to make sure everybody has been watching, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quiz. And depending where I pull the information out, it could be a live broadcast, or it could be a particular video that I posted. And I'm going to have probably like maybe 10 questions, and whoever can get them right gets the prize at the end. So,
very nice.
Wow.
So if you want to win something, watch the previous shows, because you never know what question it's going to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
Do your homework, kids.
Do your homework, kids. It'll be worth it.
Pacific has about the same thing too when it comes around when there's so many guests and get to that magic marker, milestone or subscribers or how many years. He does have a giveaway too. It's a spatula.
Nice.
A genuine Pacific 414 Pop Talk spatula. So,
Fake news. Fake news.
That's official, right? He's got his name on it too. That's amazing.
Nice.
Fake news. Fake news.
I will give a hint what the price is because I was hoping by now this 4-foot tall Metroplex would be done by now, but it's not going to be done by now. So I do have something in reserve. Okay. So I will, because, we've been talking about a particular type of brand. It's a combiner. Let's put it that way. That's the only hint you're going to get out of me. Ooh. It's a combiner. Yes, I'm not saying who or from what particular era it is, but now you know.
Oh my!
So, my!
What was that? Say that again. Say that again.
Which part?
Well, you know what? I'll just do it. So I was hoping I could get a little.
The more you know. So yeah. So So please like and subscribe and spread the link around and join on the mirth and merriment that is over on our channel or my channel, the Comic Relief Crusader. So,
yay!
Yeah.
All he did was talk about himself. Me.
I know.
That's why he's here, Baron. That's why he's here.
Baron, what did I tell you about that corner, man?
Let me tell you, not trying to be a conceited a-hole, but it was about me, I guess. So I had to indulge.
Baron's got ties to certain groups. Don't mind him, Comic.
Yeah.
You've known him longer than us. So yeah,
had to make the show interesting.
That's right.
I was waiting for Mike to hit this.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? Yo! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Well, that's why I got my panelists on a Tuesday and a Friday. So,
hey, you overruled this.
That's for next Sunday, Bear. That's for next Sunday.
I didn't mean you guys.
As you can see, we have far too much fun over here.
There's no problem with having too much fun. I mean, I'd rather have too much fun than be out here going, okay, guys, today we're going to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be amazing.
We're doing our
we liked it. We don't understand this show. Yes. There was a Jedi. It moved around. It did things. I didn't understand.
Wow.
You're listening to Pacific Public Radio with
Pacific
exactly. 414. We have our money section with Cash Monet.
And speaking of the money section, speaking of the money section, what do you have coming up on the Phantom Hooligans? I don't care if it's called Phantom Hooligans.
It's Hooligans.
It's Hooligans.
Mike.
Hooligans.
Mike. No. We've got, since Mike is back now, we're gonna start in with some more Killing of the Rats. That's right, you heard it, YouTube. Killing of the Rats with Vermintide 2, and possibly in that same stream some Myth Force, because people have been playing Myth Force, and I feel like our group got to try to get more people excited about Myth Force because it's a pretty good game. Is it a $30 game? Maybe, but I think it's a pretty good game, and it just keeps needs to build. The game needs to keep building, but it's only been out a little while, so.
Yeah.
But I'm still working on my Pinheads of Entertainment videos. Some of those will be out on my Rumble channel too, because I've got enough subscribers on my Rumble. So there's a few videos on my Rumble as well, but I have that, and then starting Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I'm going to be starting that soon. So yeah,
Nice.
that's coming up. But definitely, I think like next Friday or even sooner than that, we'll get a group together, start playing the Vermintide 2, and start leveling up some more. And we're having a lot of fun with that. And so anybody who has that, and as long as they're not an asshole, I mean, not too much of an asshole, but they can probably join. We can always use a fourth player for that or Myth Force. But yes, Phil is always asking me about Myth Force. When are we playing Myth Force? Yes. Yes.
Very nice. And Baron, what do you have coming up?
What'd you say, Comic?
Well,
I subscribed.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
On Rumble too.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Great.
So, as we talk about here, going to Baron Orman Tagge's Fandom Legacy, which used to be Fandomology, and before that, well, who knows what it was. We're gonna have on Saturday. Now that we seem to
wake me when he's done.
Back a very exciting talk about Babylon 5 at 7:00 Central Standard Time. So,
Baron,
what?
I'm just going to use the Phil McCracken method when it comes to season 3 of Babylon 5. It's good. It's Babylon 5. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. What else can I say about it? It's good. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. That's the Phil McCracken way. But yeah, we'll hope have talked there. And you're pretty knowledgeable about that Comic Relief, aren't you?
Babylon 5?
Babylon 5? Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I love the series.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'll extend an invitation out to you because you're a great guy to have. So if you're interested at all, I would like to invite you to that for Saturday.
Yeah, sure, man.
And we'll be talking about at least the first part of season 3 of Babylon 5. Other than that, okay. I need to start doing some more stuff on my channel, but of course I'll be hanging around with the other two guys here with their various endeavors, whether it be Pop Talk on Wednesdays or Sundays, and of course doing the Vermintide fun stuff. Sometime this week here, I'll be doing something with Brandon, the anime guy. We're going to be talking about I think it's this week. I have to take a look at my DMs again about Halloween stuff. So it's going to be talking about spooky things. I don't know if he's going to be keeping it with an anime or beyond, but a little hour thing. So at this time, I don't know what day I'm going to be on. Unfortunately, right now, the Primetime Kings of live stream is on a little bit of a hiatus as 24/7 finds a new studio and moves into it. So waiting with bated breath. I hope everything's going good with my brother from another mother over there. So that's what we're looking at. I'm coming back from the vacation that Mike put us on, and I'm feeling tanned, rested, and ready. So, and I'm kind of done with that there. So I'm going to hand the microphone back over to Mike PACIFIC414, and he can indulge us with his ideas of what he plans on doing. Mike, back to you.
Thank you, Baron. And for those of you who might have missed us, I don't know. I'm not going to assume people missed us.
With every bullet so far.
Okay, Al. but for those of you who might have missed us, we took this last week and a couple days off because I thought to myself, I can keep doing this, but then at some point I'm going to get burned out. So I'm going to take a little sabbatical, take a week and a couple of days off just so I don't get burned out. But we are back, and we are back in full force, and coming up on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, and that'll also be 5 p.m. Central Time, will be a chill-in chat here on the PACIFIC414 YouTube channel.
Nice.
Yes. So if anyone wants to come on, talk about whatever they want to talk about, no set topics, just a chill-in chat, just a nice, relaxing, like a campfire, just sitting around the campfire and sharing stories, or
that's awesome. So Mike's
talking about.
He's gonna finally sing "Kumbaya." That's great, man.
I have to say it. I have to say it before every episode of Pop Talk, Cash.
I'm ready.
but it's just gonna be a chill on chat, and unlike the new open panels that started last month, where in the second hour it's the open panel, and I have all the rules for the open panel for Pop Talk. The only rule that's going to be there for the chill and chat is please save all self promotion until you're getting ready to leave, or we're about to end the stream. That's all I ask.
Yeah, Baron, you heard it, man. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Baron Orman Tagge from Baron Orman Tagge's Fandom Legacy, where you can, go and see the videos that's over there. So yeah, I mean, I was talking the other day on Baron Orman Tagge's, Fandom Legacy about this particular topic, and if you want to see that, please head on over to Fandom Legacy. How was that?
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
And if you've noticed, Baron, I haven't kicked you out once.
That's true.
I know. I thought I was gonna. I thought I was at one time.
No. But no, not today. Not today. Not the first day back. Not the first day back.
Oh,
see,
but of course
he's back. He's back from Bellevue Hospital, and he's magnanimous. And the reason why, of course, they wouldn't let him have a computer in Bellevue Hospital. But yeah, he's here. He's better.
Well, that was just rude of them, Baron. Gosh,
I know. Well, there's no outlets in the padded cell anyway. So I mean,
yes.
Well, sometimes you have to go to a padded cell after doing Pop Talk.
I know, I do. Hell, I've got one of those safety rooms or panic rooms. That's where I go afterwards.
But of course, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern will be the Wednesday edition of Pop Talk, where Wednesday's guest will be Pops.
Nice.
Yay!
So it's been a while since we've talked with Pops here on the channel, and I sent him out an invite saying, "Hey, by any chance your availability for Wednesday, possibly for Pop Talk?" I didn't put it exactly like that, but I mainly asked him, by any chance, would you be available for the month of October at some point to appear on the Wednesday edition of Pop Talk? And he said, how about the 11th? I said, okay, the 11th it is. So that'll be this Wednesday on Pop Talk on PACIFIC414 on YouTube and Rumble. And then Thursday on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and Twitch. As long as Cash is still up for it, we will be playing River City Girls 2 gameplay part 4.
Right.
So,
nice.
Whoa. River City 2 part 4.
River City Girls 2
just
gameplay part 4.
Baron, you have to remember this. You don't say the 2. It's just River City Girls.
You don't say the 2 part.
But you did say the 2. You did say River City Girls 2.
Okay, Cass, we need to let him in. We need to let him in when the game's doing its opening song and opening animation. You hear Sako tell Kyoko, "You don't say the 2 part," because Kyoko's saying River City Girls 2.
Yeah.
It's great. River City Girls, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out
tonight.
Not
that kind of River City Girls.
What?
No.
Okay. No. What?
No. He does this every time, Cash. Every time.
I know he does.
Wow.
But then, of course, Friday I'll be over on Fandom Hooligans with Baron and Cash playing Vermintide 2 and Myth Force. And then Saturday, we will be on Baron Orman Tagge's Fandom Legacy, talking about the first half of season 3 of Babylon 5. It's good.
It's good. Okay,
it's good.
Okay, we're not going to have it now.
I just thought it was good. It's good.
Okay, we're not going to have it now because it's all okay. That's the show right there. I guess I can't have the show now. Thank you, Mike. Fine.
What?
Well, don't blame me. Blame Phil McCracken.
No.
Paradise Lost.
But Mike, I do want to thank you for joining us this Sunday and spending part of your Sunday with us. It was a lot of fun. Really appreciate it.
I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. I like doing these editions of Pop Talk where we have different guests on, and just get to talk with them, let them talk, and find out more about how their channel became what it is. And I mean, it's fun. It's fun getting to talk to other creators.
Yeah. No, it's fun, man. As long as you can talk about something that you're passionate about, something that you're gonna have fun with, that's half the battle,
Yeah.
Right.
And with that being said, make sure that you subscribe to everybody here on the panel. I have made sure to put their links in the description below on YouTube and Rumble. And with that being said, remember, I'm not just a baseball guy. I'm an all-around guy.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
Hey, Comic Relief Crusader, for being here, man.
Really appreciate it, brother.
Yep.
You made us look good.
A lot of fun.
You did. Yeah, it was.
Always a lot of fun doing these.